Martin Show.
But I'm done. Come on in here.
It was a great day. Rob, it went perfect.
It was. Think of all the people that called and came by.
Rob, come in here.
Hi.
Trey, give him your mic. How long to make him cry?
I'll start the clock.
30 seconds.
35.
All right.
20.
I'll take 15.
Come in. There he is.
Who is it?
Go that way.
Come over there.
Make him look at the black.
Is everything okay?
Stop it.
Quit it.
Quit it.
He really is crying.
I know he is.
Look at his eyes.
God. Rob.
Did a great job.
You did a great job. It was a wonderful day.
Why are you crying? I just want you to be happy.
He's happy.
He's very happy.
It was a
Well, I
great-
lost the freaking bet. You wouldn't go
know.
15 seconds.
I know.
I want you doing a spit test Monday.
No, he worked really, really hard on this.
That's
guy.
why I wanted to have him come in here so I could thank him in person.
Well, hey,
It's a date that I was going to let go, and he turned it into something momentous.
he thought that you were mad this morning when you wrote that big headline. What the F is this?
I wanted to know what it was. I mean, it all fell together after all the secret meetings and everything going on in his office, and you guys wouldn't tell me anything.
That bothers you. We know.
But you're very generous with your time. You've been a great producer and a very good friend.
Now get the hell out.
Been nice you could have teared up for that. All right, you can get out now.
Thank you, Rob.
God, it's terrible. You're so sad.
Torturous man.
I just thanked him.
No, I know.
Where are you taking my mom tonight, George?
Wherever she wants to go, she talks to me.
You going to get you some stinky wrist?
All right.
That ain't right.
That's not funny, Claus. Stop it! You're laughing more than anybody else here. It's not that funny. Next time you get drunk, I'm going to leave you in the corner.
George,
Yes.
she's got plans for Saturday. She's not going out with you.
Okay. Well, she said you might say something like that, so I got to hear from her.
You're hearing from her through me.
Well, I was going to tell you about it, but I didn't know that she was going to tell you.
When were you going to tell me? Sometime after the date?
Well, sometime I hadn't put a time limit on it. Maybe Friday night at the party.
Well, what is it with all the chicks that you tote around? Why you got to go after my mom?
I'm not going after. We're just having things in common.
What?
Things.
What?
Just things, just like you have things in common with women, you know? It's all good.
What do you have in common with my mom?
Well, we just have things in common. You don't need to know everything yet. Okay? Is it okay if I go to out with your mother?
Mm-mm.
Is that a yes or no?
It's a no. She's had enough sex in her life.
Nobody said anything about sex.
That's what is it you got planned? You going to take her to the True Lux and have the nice lobster dinner, take her back in the limo,
Yeah.
and then take her home?
Well, no, that's not necessarily true.
What else did you have planned? Was there going to be some dancing there or a movie?
Yeah, well, she said she likes to dance. I mean, we kind of have some options. I mean, I'll do like JD does, just call you when we're at different places, you know, like I had to babysit his girlfriend.
Yeah, thanks for turning your phone off, ass.
You know how, I'm just saying, Russ controls things.
I'm aware.
I'll call you from every place, Russ, and let you talk to her.
Mm-mm. Did your mom drink?
Yes.
Yeah, she had champagne at the house last week.
Okay.
In the limo, too. Your mother's a really nice lady. She does know how to relax, though.
Do you already F my mom? Has it already happened? Did you F my mom? I ask you again. Shut up, Flo. You F my mom.
The Russ Martin Show.
I think that was her pickup line.
Well, that's certainly cute. Would make me be attracted to her.
I still don't have a clue who it was.
Supposed to punch her out. What a rude thing to say. To anybody, anywhere.
Especially in person. I didn't care.
In person or an email, it's just rude. That's a pickup line?
I guess. At Autorama it is.
Yeah, you got a point. Gavin said you guys had fun.
How?
Gavin said you guys hung out. You were buddies, buddy, walking around. You were in a good mood. He's
okay.
excited.
Well, then that's the reason for the phone calls over the weekend. Wanted to go do something. That's it. Are the Stars playing this week?
Yes.
Someplace locally? I mean, at home.
Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, they're playing locally. I think they are. I don't know what they, but yes.
Looks like
No, he's excited.
maybe 2 phone calls over the weekend, but normally I don't hear from him unless it's band related on the weekend.
He want to take you to the Stars game yesterday?
Maybe that's what it was.
Or Sunday.
Oh, he was.
So what was it he got out Autorama that was just a little booster shot?
You were apparently in a great mood. You were chummy. You were buddy. We just had the best buddy day. That's the word he kept using, buddy. We had the best buddy day I think I've ever had with Russ. He was just.
Did he tell you what we did?
He said he went to Autorama and met Henry Winkler. But he said you were just almost. You got the idea that it was some kind of buddy movie. You guys were in. He was just.
We had to park on the far end of the market. Was it Market Hall?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Market Hall. All the way to the end of covered parking.
Okay.
And then 3 spaces out beyond the covered parking in the rain.
I understand.
And then probably at least half a mile back up to the building in the rain. And right before we got to the building, they're having the burnout contest. Group of people out there watching that. in the rain. People walking away. Oh, and that hard since Knievel tried to jump Snake River.
Could live for that. Man, he just indicated that you guys were just best friends.
We walked in the rain. We got Henry Winkler, who probably said nothing to me. Signed a leather jacket, the fine, so we could auction off for the foundation. Figured while I was there, I'd never met him in person. Walked down to the other end, met George Barris, the builder of the Batmobile.
Yeah.
And then we left. We're on the wrong side of the building now. But luckily it was raining harder.
He said you sent him to get the car. You're not going to melt together.
There was no reason for both of us just to get sopped.
He still had a great day.
Stick aside, I don't get what he would have gotten out of that. What do you glean from walking with somebody in the rain? Is that some type of gay bonding moment?
I don't know. Did y'all have conversation? Did you talk about guy things? Did you hold hands and skip? Because that's what it sounded like. I'll tell you,
I'm in shorts. I'm wearing a jacket. Nowhere close to keeping me warm. All I want to do is get in, get Winkler, and get out.
It sounded like you had the day from the opening sequence from The Courtship of Eddie's Father, where they're running through the park, and they're holding hands, and he's picking them up and spinning around. That's how it sounded. I mean, this was yesterday at 12 o'clock. He was like, man, you won't believe it. You won't believe it.
Dan, he say anything this to you?
No, but I realize now when JD just mentioned that, because they were up here having their meeting, I walked by and Gavin was just really amped up, excited about something.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
I guess that was it.
You guys had a buddy moment. You bonded.
We went to the Autorama, looked at rednecks.
Well, he was very excited.
And I bet there was 100 people standing outside in the rain to watch the burn-off contest.
I didn't even do that in the rain.
It's a lot easier.
Is it really? I don't know. I've never burned off.
The road's slick.
Well, I realize that, but I would think you wouldn't get as much smoke because of the water.
The road's slick.
All right.
They didn't really care.
All right.
Gavin.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What happened Saturday?
We had a great time.
What was it that took our relationship to the next level?
You know, you see in the movies, like, people running through the rain. That was us.
Oh, God.
No, it was fun.
We ran through the rain because I didn't want to be in it. It's not like we ran through the rain so I could spend more time with you in it.
It was really the first time that you and I had spent time together in about 3 years. We used to hang out, just me and you. It was great.
I'm lost.
Oh, come on. We walked into everything we wanted. We accomplished. We got to spend some time with George Barris. We took care of the leather jacket, which looks great. I'm excited. Raised some money for that.
I don't know how Henry Winkler, because he was there 3 days. Now, with George Barris, not that many people are Batmobile fans.
Sure.
So
I wouldn't know who he was.
He'd have a line, and then he'd have a break. Because he actually stood up and talked to me for a couple of minutes. I thought it would be a quick autograph or a picture. And he stood up. He went, how are the Batmobiles?
Oh, he knows. Okay, cool.
I don't know how he knew.
Well,
we've had him on the show before, but this ain't the only radio show he's done.
No, but you're probably the only person that owns 2 Batmobiles in the world.
So he stood up, talked for a while. But I don't know how you keep from nutting out with the line that Winkler had. And it was, while we were there were no gaps, there were no breaks. He didn't stop to talk to any, as far as workers. Mm-hmm. It was everybody in the crowd.
Why would he do that? He doesn't need the cash. You know he doesn't. Other members maybe, like you see the guys from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Gavin, who was the chick that was there with him?
Sydney Williams.
Yeah, she needed to be there.
She probably hasn't made the money he's made directing and producing and writing and everything else.
She didn't look good.
No. Really.
Not aging well.
She had on, who'd you say she looked like, Gavin?
Roy Orbison.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Yike. So covering the eyes, that's probably a substance abuse issue. Alcohol, most likely. You get the dark.
It could be the fact that she may be in her 60s.
Catherine Bach didn't look that great either at Dukes of Hazzard, but she was out there.
She's also overweight. That tends to fill in.
Yes, that's true.
And I didn't even notice. What's her name?
Cindy Williams.
Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
She was to the left of Henry Winkler. He signed the jacket, and they handed over to her. You guys are confusing too much. She was in Happy Days, but really it's Laverne and Shirley. Let me go get a poodle for her to sign.
You snatch it away from her?
Yeah.
Did you really?
I didn't want her to sign the jacket.
Rude.
I didn't know if you could get that paint back off after she signed it.
Can't. You had a rude comment coming to you then. You're old.
What? Who was some chick? I don't know. Gavin, did you see me talking to that chick?
Oh, yeah. That's so wrong what she said. I would have popped her if I could.
She just walked up to you.
Hang on, I'm trying to think of where I met her.
It was right to the side.
Not in Autorama, I meant before. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. Chloe, were we doing some kind of promotion with a microbrewery in Dallas?
The only one I could think of would be the one down in Deep Ellum. The one where Copper Tank.
Yeah, I think maybe that was it.
Okay.
She came up. She said, "It's been a long time. You got old." Okay. You remember me? No. I showed you my breast at we'll call it the Copper Tank. Okay. They're not as big anymore. Well, what happened? Well, I had to have some of them cut off. Well, that's too bad. At least you're keeping yourself in shape. How often do you have your teeth yellowed?
I was going to say, you didn't let her get away, I'm sure, without a slam.
No, she didn't get it. I think she kept, really good to see you, nonstop. And she wants to stand close so I can smell every nuance of her mouth.
All the nicotine tars.
And then and I'm looking at Gavin, giving him the high sign of come and get me.
Well, see, he didn't hang out with you. He doesn't know the rescue wink.
Didn't we have some type of
we do, but we hang
standard thing?
Yeah, anytime you're anybody's trapped.
Hey! Come get me!
It's normally a little,
kick me yellow teeth.
a little subtle than that.
Sliced off teeth. Come get me.
I was scratching the neck.
No, because nobody couldn't have noticed that. Wasn't it something like this?
No, that was
a retarded hand in the air.
Well, it's more like an orangutan.
Yeah.
But you look like you're just stretching. But I waved at Gavin, and of course from Gavin I went, huh?
Hey, buddy, I'm having such a good day.
Well, he's talking to one of the supervisors for Market Hall in the Autorama, so he's over there busy, and I'm stuck with Yellowstone. And I'm waving at him. Good night, everybody! And then we go to talk to Barris, follows me down there.
God.
Really good to see you. Lady, I got no interest in you, your teeth, or those hips that you're toting around. I'm sorry about your breast, but you're not going to get any card from me.
After opening the line like you got old, screw you, get out of my face.
I really think that was their pickup line.
Very effective.
I thought about her all weekend. Can't think of anything else that happened. So, Gavin, what was it over the weekend where you and I bonded and nobody told me?
We just had a great time. We had a great time.
Did I bond with anybody else I need to know about? I know who I didn't bond with.
Who did you not bond with?
Carlos is out of the band.
Why?
He quit.
He quit? Why would he quit? He loves the band.
He quit. Depending on who you ask.
Oh. Who fired him? Let me ask that.
He quit.
He didn't quit. He loved that band.
Again, it's going to be perspective. If you ask him, he's going to say I kicked him out.
Okay.
You ask me,
yes,
I'm going to say I kicked him out.
What did he do this time? Was it just a continuation?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair enough. He and Chuck didn't have words. No more water throwing. No more...
Do you have any words before I got here Saturday?
No words.
Did he talk to anybody?
No.
Stood in the corner, did his stuff, no words, and I was going to talk to him before he left. He just left. I mean, you know what? I don't tolerate that on the show. Why am I going to tolerate it during band practice?
Yeah. It's supposed to be fun. I don't know when he lost the edge of having fun in the band. Because I had that conversation before. I went, if you're not having fun, why are you doing this?
Did he say he wasn't?
He said he was having a blast. I'm like, you don't look like you're having a blast. Grumpy in the corner going, and throwing your stuff down doesn't look like fun.
I don't think Carlos ever has fun.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it stemmed from. I just sent an email. I even let Trey look at it. Wasn't it kind enough?
You were very kind.
Said, thank you for all your time, your effort, your... I forgot how we addressed the bass player. Just, you're out.
Well, they could have said, I hope you died of a fiery plane crash, and Trey would have gone, it was very nice.
Oh, yeah, Trey's not a good person to bounce stuff off.
He is, just not when it comes to Carlos.
Then I get this diatribe email back from Carlos.
You know you're going to get that.
And I sent back, again, the band was creating a rift between us. We've always been friends. If I had to make a choice, I prefer us to be friends.
Fair enough.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I get another one back from him.
Well, that's
twice as long and even pissier.
What to be pissy? You actually sent a nice...
Because Carlos don't know nothing but pissy.
Well, if that's really what you wrote, that's a very, very nice email.
Isn't that what I wrote, Shots?
Exactly. Given the choice, I'd rather you be my friend. That's... For you, that's poetry.
I like Carlos.
I do too.
I liked Carlos.
Yeah, you'll like him again. He'll get over this. You know he does. It blows and then it goes.
But I'm tired of messing with it.
And you warned him before.
Yeah, about being pissy at band practice.
Oh.
So, I can't help it.
Okay. So he's...
And then I get another diatribe back with more pissiness. And I forgot how I started this one. Still pretty much even. But I ended it with, but if you want to get pissy with me,
okay,
I'll crawl up your ass and live there. I got references.
That was my favorite.
And I just bet Trey was just beaming all weekend.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have my song done by 7.
What is the song?
Trey just started sending me ideas of different Carlos songs. What's one of them?
Oh, My Love Grows Because Carlos Goes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What was the one about pissing at him? What? Did I tell you couldn't do?
Yeah.
Same thing?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
As opposed to on him?
Actually,
yeah, I told him, I said, it's going to have to be on. I said, the FCC has things about ingestion. For some reason, if it's on them, they're not as wiggy about it.
They're very particular about their prepositions.
Well, they just like it on instead of in. Ingesting urine is... it's a very yellow area.
How do we leave it? What's the last volley?
I don't know. I got another page and a half pissy email. I didn't even look at it. I just sent it to Trey and went, read this, give me the notes.
Cliff notes.
Was there anything in there I needed to know? Was there anything in there different?
No.
Just more excuses of why it's not his fault?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it? Chuck was, harsher on him than anyone else. Sometimes he was right.
People practice. The rest of the people come to band, and we practice ahead of time. We don't wait till Saturday to try and learn the stuff.
See, I've called him.
You learn it ahead of time, and then when you show up Saturday, you rehearse.
I've called him at home before, and he's practicing. He'll be asked, what are you doing? I'm playing the bass. I'm doing my stuff. So I know he practiced at home. I don't know if he doesn't get it.
Well, he and Chuck would also argue. Yeah. Chuck would say, here's the bass line. Well, I want to play this. Great. When we get to that song, possibly you can use that bass line. But right now, we're doing Bad Company, and you're in the wrong key.
Yeah.
Well, here's the way it should go. He's telling Chuck who's been in a band 25, 30 years, has a degree in music what?
Education.
Yeah. And including music theory and...
Doesn't matter. Chuck's the guy you've chosen to run the band, so you need to...
Carl's been playing a bass guitar 8 or 9 months, and he's going to argue with somebody with a musical degree.
Yeah. Didn't he also tell Bono he was playing wrong, too?
Yeah, the drummer.
He did not.
Yes.
He did not.
Yeah.
When was this? You tell the drummer he's doing wrong?
Well, I think Chuck said has a metronome in front of him, so he keeps perfect timing.
Okay. Yeah. It had to happen. Well, now who's going to play bass? That's it. White Trash Party's off.
No, we got, what is today?
Today's the 19th of February.
Okay. We got about 3 weeks. We'll just take demo tapes, resumes. J.D. Ryan.
No.
What is it? J.D. Ryan 105.3.
I don't run the band. No.
Well, I don't have time to listen to bass players.
It's a trade.
Big MP3 files.
Chuck.
Yeah.
No. Chuck,
We're all getting ready for an event. You got nothing to do. You play the tambourine.
I know, and it's very difficult.
So you'll ferret those out for me, yes?
I don't want, oh, God, no.
Hours of
I don't know
bass
what
playing.
to listen for a bass player.
Listen for something thumpy.
They'll thump.
We could replace Carlos with a washing machine with a load on one side.
Just turn it to gentle if it's a slow song.
Do we need a break? What is this? Is this a new shocking thing back here?
Yes.
What is this? Where'd you get it?
With Spencer's. It's a game in which you start playing, as I haven't got out of the box yet, but it randomly picks a number itself, and you keep pressing the buttons, and if you put in the wrong number that isn't stored inside of it, it'll shock you.
Is it kind of like Merlin? Like Merlin was matching color patterns, right? You'd have a yellow and then a red light, and you'd have to hit yellow and red. They give you more.
Well, the guy at the store told me it picks a number that you don't know, and you have to pick every number but that number and put it in. So you're going to get shocked eventually. So he didn't tell me how you win the game.
So this thing could pick 64, and as long as I don't punch in 64, I don't get zitzed.
That's what I caught by what he was saying.
It's got a built-in computer voice. It's already got a battery in it?
I haven't got a chance to take it out of the box yet.
Oh.
I just wanted you to see it first.
All right, I'll play with it during the break. You still have the audio of David Henry from Friday.
I laughed about that whole kid. I saw him in the hall earlier. He won't look at me.
Why not?
I don't know. I didn't do it. I laughed at it.
He comes in the studio, wants to know if there's any jack in here. So why don't you do the shocking lie detector while you're in here? No, it shocks. What are these things over here? It's a strength tester. I'll do that. Even though right across the top of the base it says extreme shock.
Yes. No, you've seen these at the circus. They just show how much strength you have in your hand.
Pick that up.
What a jab in the peel right at the end, right after he gets electrocuted. You're strong.
He grabbed it. He was just shaking the things like, I'm going to win this.
And that's even worse because when I hold one of those metal handles, really? I'll just barely hold it with my thumb and my forefinger.
When it zaps you, you can let go.
Yeah, you don't get the full effect. He's squeezing the piss out of it. I'm going to show them how I got to be general manager.
I did. No, you've seen these at the circus. They just show how much strength you have in your hand.
Pick that up.
Yeah, don't hold it on the ground. Hold on. Right here.
What do I do?
Hang on. Do you have
This one too?
Yeah, no, that one works. All right, anytime.
Jam on it as hard as you can. Like that? No? Is it going to shock me?
No. Give him the other one, Trey.
Ready again.
You're strong.
Oh, I forgot about Gavin here at the end.
I think he fell out of his chair.
What is it, Gavin?
I don't know who he is behind that mask of his, but I do know when we need him. And we need him now.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
You figure it out?
Yeah, I believe so.
You get shocked?
A little bit, but you have to test it to make sure.
All right, so how does it work? And it does. It just looks like a small Merlin game.
Set the shock level to what you want, whether it's low or high. And then when you turn it on, set it to the 1 to 99 thing on the switch on the right.
It's got off, it's got 1 to 99, and
Samantha says.
Yeah.
There's 2 games in there that you can play. One is the 1 to 99, the other is the Samantha says. Now, you press the SP button, and that's to get everything started.
1, 2, 99.
All right, now what?
Now, it's supposed to give you a number randomly to start. But when I was doing it earlier, I don't think it did. So just, if you want, wait a few seconds to see if it does it for you. Or
hell no!
Nothing's happened yet. It's not going to shock you. So just type in a random number.
Okay.
It has to be 2 digits.
I put in 78.
Okay. Now, pick your thumbs and press the 2 metal things and hold it down until it gives you the confirmation now noise.
1, 2, 78.
So now...
Oh, I get it. Your odds are getting zits.
Oh, okay. Right. It keeps giving you new ranges with every number that you
All right, I put in 37. I'm holding these down.
37 to 78.
Put in 39.
39 to 78.
Put in 46.
46 to 78.
Because my odds are getting fried or coming up.
Yep.
I put in 50.
50 to 78.
Put in 77.
50 to 77.
Oh, I don't have the shocking part of it on.
Well, I was wondering about that.
All right, now the low shock is on.
Okay.
What?
What? Why'd you turn it off?
Because you can't get shocked. I'm studying to be GM.
I think you're well on your way.
Is that Gail? Yeah. Hi, Gail.
Hi, Russ.
What do you got?
The Carter Eye Center, and a big old wreck on southbound 35 Simmons. It's just before Royal Lane. The 3 left lanes are blocked. Traffic's backed up to Whitlock in Carrollton, and westbound LBJ is heavy from at least Marsh. On southbound 35 at Oak Lawn, there's a wreck. Only 1 left lane blocked, but it's heavy from Motor Street. In Mesquite, there's roadwork blocking the southbound LBJ ramp to eastbound 80. And then in Denton, on 35 northbound between Swisher Road and Fort Worth Drive, you've got real slow traffic due to some earlier striping crews. I'm Gail Lightfoot on the Russ Martin Show.
Thanks, Gail. 38 for the low tonight. Still kind of chilly. Then 62 for the high tomorrow. We're at 65 now at Live 105.3.
Hey, Dan, show me.
I've already done that.
How long did it take you to get zapped?
Actually, mine was fairly quick. I want to say about 40, 45 seconds.
Well, I'm putting this back on low shock.
How does it rate shock-wise compared to the other stuff?
It's more surprising. I'd say similar.
I think that's worse out of all of them.
Yeah, because it's when you're not expecting it. Like, I can imagine how bad it was for David Henry when he smashed down on the strength tester.
Yeah, that was on high shock, too.
Well, it was on high shock, and he had every amount of flesh you could make contact on that metal hand.
You can see his hand shaking. He was so hard.
And every single time we've played with our shocking games, we knew there were shocking games beforehand, with the exception of, I think, the shocking pin that you got JD with one time.
Yeah. What was the one that you hate, Chloe? Is it the finger roulette?
The roulette, yeah.
Where is that one? Let me see.
Did you know they make shocking tag?
Yeah, we have that in the thing.
Oh, I
think we've got all of them, don't we?
No, there's one more that I was going to ask to see if you wanted to get. It's a new lightning reaction, and somehow you can choose who you want to shock. It's just like the lightning reaction. It's the same 2 games, but but this way, I didn't read the directions on it fully. It's just, you can choose who you want to shock, which I didn't understand.
Well, that's okay. We never understand any of them.
But if you want me to get that one, I can pick that one up tomorrow.
Here, stick your finger in this.
What?
Go ahead. Put it in.
Okay.
Just the roulette.
Oh, damn it. Now just come back to
Well,
me.
just stick your finger in one of them. If you put it in both of them, you know you're going to get shot. Hang on, let me see what this is set on.
Should be only one level on that one.
Yeah. Okay, it's on. All right, pick a hole.
Oh, that's the part right there. Press monkey. That's it. Damn it.
What if you can, let's see, number of victims. Okay. Now, yeah, I just went up. Finger in it again. Yeah. There, 4 players. Put your finger in it.
Okay, won't do one again, so. What did it just do? It shows.
I don't know what it did.
Ah, yeah. Oof.
Put it back in there.
What?
Keep pulling until he gets it.
Made it again.
All right. We'll try it again later. Anything else before we do news?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Some very funny things here. First of all, about yesterday, us being off. You said you're going to be on yesterday. What's your problem, boss? It must be nice.
I changed my mind.
To have a job where you can be off.
I changed my mind.
President's Day anytime you damn well please.
I thought Friday was a pretty good show. I thought it was time to relax.
Great show.
I got one like that yesterday. I was up here working on Best Of. He wasn't pissy like that. He was just more jealous. He's like, that must be your, that's cool.
Well, that's why we don't have bumpers in and out that say you're listening to Best Of.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of them don't catch it.
This email, on the other hand, it's about Operation Kindness.
Is that the long one?
Uh-huh. You want me to read it, or you want to wait?
If it's a long one, I'd give it to Dan.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Go ahead. You want to know my reply to her before or Dan starts the email?
Let him start it.
All right, go ahead.
Russ, will you pull your support if or when there is an organizational change in a fire department or police department? Probably not. The families of fallen officers still need help. I and so many, all caps others, are disgusted with your behavior regarding the Operation Kindness change in management. You are throwing a tantrum, and the only ones affected are the dogs and cats. Go ahead and support Dallas Animal Services. They will need the money to kill all the dogs and cats that won't be accommodated by a wonderful shelter. It is obvious that your heart was not in it. I am so disappointed in the actions taken. I really thought more of you. Our offices will be turning off your show. Everyone loses, especially the dogs and cats you claim to care for. Very disappointing. Farewell, and I hope you are able to step out of your ego and do something constructive rather than pout and kick everyone out of your sandbox. Nancy.
There. And your answer? Q. That's all you wrote back to her?
That's all it deserves.
Yeah.
We covered all of that.
Very extensively.
The biggest problem with Johnny leaving is the animals are still there. They still need to be adopted. They still need support. It's people on the board of directors I don't like. And Johnny's not there anymore. She wants to plug another animal shelter. She can do whatever she wants.
You wrestled with it. You even said, I really, truly don't know what to do in this situation.
Well, and in point of fact, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on you haven't talked about because you want to protect the shelter.
Yeah.
Stuff I don't even know about, obviously.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
Nothing associated with Johnny, but just things that I kept to myself because it probably wouldn't be in the best interest.
Okay. Obviously.
My only goal is to get a few of the people out and get Johnny back in. That's what she wanted. She built it. It's like going in and yanking somebody out of their house that they worked on for 22 years.
They built from the ground up, literally.
Didn't pay for it with cash, but she did it with time. And then you decide that you want to go back and restructure
It would be so much different if it was not being successful, but the numbers just don't make sense.
No. If you go back from 86 when she started, 2 employees, $7,000 in the bank. Now, what do they have? 70 employees?
Something like that, yeah.
All right. $2.5 million in the bank and a multi-million-dollar facility that's paid for. And adoptions are up. And still can't get a complete, what is it called, quorum?
Yes.
Of the board of directors to meet with the advisory board. Well, some people are out of town, they got other jobs. I don't care what job you got. You took this, the bylaw says you can call a meeting. Yeah. You don't use excuses. Miniature golf.
Either we're not getting the whole story.
That's what's going on. And because we can't get a meeting with the entire board of directors, there's something they don't want me to know.
Sure, of course. They're taking bit off a little more than they could chew in this case. Who's on the board?
So, how much longer do I have to wait before?
Yeah, you said Tuesday last week.
They wanted me to just stay off of this for a while. The advisory board.
Considering right now, and
how much longer is the answer I'm looking for?
Maybe another week.
Now, is that going to be a fruitful week, or am I just going to be sitting here spinning my wheels for no reason?
No, it will be a fruitful week. That if it looks like the executive committee of the board of directors and a quorum has agreed to meet with the board of advisors.
But even though you have a quorum, there may be questions come up, things that you need all the board of directors, not just a quorum. Because if we go and we say, all right, we want Johnny back. Well, not everybody's here to vote on that. All right, just wasted this entire meeting. I don't care how many people are there. If you've got the excuse, if you've got the ace in your hole, or wherever you keep it now, of, well, we're going to need those other people here to make that decision, we just screwed you.
Well, what we're trying to do now is, if they can't be there, have them on the phone. So,
sorry, we got to be there in person to vote.
It's a waste of time, totally.
It is. Just put all these stupid meetings aside and let me go get some people.
There's no one who really wants you to go get certain people than I do, but I really do believe a little bit more time and things might get
I got $5,000 that I'll throw down. And I'll tell you, this meeting is going to be a waste of time. Own some?
No. But
so why have it?
Because if the meeting does prove to be a waste of time, not only are you going to go loose, there's a lot of other big-name people who are then going to rethink their decision about whether they want to be associated with the shelter or not. And I think at that point, that's going to force, along with the pounding.
So you don't want any of the bet?
No.
Pussy. Anybody else?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll give them until Monday.
Okay.
Is that a fair deadline?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I want Brett Shipp and that thing that works for Channel 4.
Becky Oliver.
Yeah, to make some phone calls for us as well.
They will. They love you.
Becky Oliver, promise her some cats or something. She'll do it.
What would you? Never mind. Do with the cats.
All right. Ready for news now? Sure. We have time? Okay. Did you do illegal? 408. Dan O'Malley's here with news.
Thank you, Russ. Tuesday, February 19, 2008. Birthdays today. Justine Bateman turns 42. Seal is 45. Jeff Daniels is 53. Russ's good buddy Paul Dean, the guitarist from Loverboy, is 62. And Smokey Robinson turns 68. Was he the one that threw the drumstick at you?
No.
Or the
water?
Yeah, the water.
No, that's the drummer.
Okay.
Paul's the guitarist.
Okay.
It's the drummer Loverboy that doesn't like me.
Was that ever resolved?
I never talked to him.
Yeah, you kissed the lead singer. I think you're good.
That was the night of the concert. How long ago was that? 5 years now?
Yeah.
That was October of 2002.
And how many times have we booked Loverboy for white trash parties? Several.
Oh, yeah.
Drummer gets money out of that. Never said anything to me. Just throws water on me while I'm on stage vamping.
You were vamping for an hour.
Without a guitar.
Without a guitar.
In a purple pimp suit.
Yeah.
Well, that's before I knew how to play.
Well, I understand. But he sort of felt like you weren't, you didn't belong there.
Reno never said anything.
No, Reno didn't. Reno loves you and gets it. The drummer didn't. He felt upstaged.
And again, if I had true friends,
so
somebody would have pulled me off by the nape of my neck.
No.
And said, "You're blacking out. And the great thing about the fact that you blacked out is I can do this and you'll never know."
I lay down. No, you were having fun. You didn't appear to be blacking out. You really looked like you were just into it.
I didn't remember anything.
I see. How am I supposed to know that from 50, 70 feet away?
I'm playing air guitar on stage for an hour and a half, dressed like a pimp. I'm blacked out.
And the lead singer didn't care. He was having fun. He was laughing with you. He even let you kiss him.
But I'm also making a fool in front of 2,000 or 3,000 people.
It really wasn't. It was just a party.
Why does it sound, and I ain't playing the audio, why does it sound like I'm making myself look like a fool?
Because you were drunk. You were drunker than I thought you were, but it was a party. It's a white trash party. It was
If
perfect.
I'm on stage, especially now with our band, if I'm playing air guitar, come and get me.
I will now. I certainly would. I knew you didn't know how to play guitar back then, but now if you're playing air guitar in a pimp suit, that's a note. I'll come get you.
Well, you got to remember that was the first time you had Loverboy. The energy was high.
You've been drinking all day.
Huge crowd.
Didn't eat a lot.
But I was fine driving over there, and I was also fine on the limo ride back. I don't know what could have gotten into my system, short of Jack, and gotten out so fast to where I remember everything on the way home.
I don't think it was any drugs. We talked about that. I think you were just high on a little bit of Jack and the adrenaline. And you're up on stage, you're having a good time. They're jamming, you're
I've
jamming.
been excited about things before, and I didn't black out. And I remembered everything.
I have no clue what else could have come into that, because you haven't done that since.
Okay.
You don't want to hear the audio?
No.
Oh, come on. Come on. It
We've
was
been
then.
playing this audio for 5 years.
I know. There's new people that'll tune in every day. It was fun. It was a party. Everybody resets. You don't do this all the time. You did it once.
Cut 9, 10,
9 and 10.
and 11.
There's nothing new on here, right?
No.
Because I know you guys had other audio from the video somebody shot.
I have the whole video at home.
I've never watched that.
Okay. I've never posted it. You said you didn't want to see it.
What cut?
9, 10, and 11.
I really hate this.
See? Not bad. Here he goes. Oh, this is where he comes out and you introduce him.
Thanks.
That's all.
And after this, you didn't think it was time to take me home?
No, really, it didn't. You still looked very intoxicated. But
Here he goes.
I don't think I've ever gotten that far on the air with this. I think I always weasel out.
that's the DJ in you coming out. You want to hit the ball.
And really, how often is it you get to hit the post live with the band right behind you?
See, 5 years later, you just found something new.
Where was it?
This is at
Jay Gilligan's.
Yeah. Look at Chuck.
I'm sorry, he hasn't heard it.
You haven't heard this, Chuck?
No.
Trey, where are you hiding the flask?
It's in my car.
Where am I?
Oh, no.
I don't know what you guys are watching the video. What am I screaming about?
You kind of step off and you sort of do this grand gesture like here he is, and you make that last scream.
It almost sounds like you thought that the vocals are going to kick in right there, because you did it in beat as far as hitting a post. It just wasn't the vocal pose.
Well, what am I screaming about? Somebody help me with this.
I'm just excited that he's coming out. Here he comes. It's going to be.
But I'm screaming like
an encore.
I'm doing play-by-play of the Hindenburg.
That's why you could form at that moment.
Here he comes.
One more.
Haven't we done enough old home?
No. This is good. One more little cut. You're good.
When
He was just telling people to keep screaming. He'd come back. He wasn't coming back.
Where's the one where I just screamed Loverboy?
That's the first track, number 9.
I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, he played just a minute ago.
Mm-hmm. That's the short one. Yeah. See? And I think this is Reno coming back for the encore, right?
So you're egging him on to maybe bring him back out again.
If we're going to keep revisiting this stuff, go back to the video and pull out some other things.
Okay, be glad to.
Because if I was up there for an hour and a half, I'm sure I said something else.
There's some really good stuff. You just said you never wanted to hear it, you never wanted to see it.
Can we put it on YouTube?
Yes.
I'll write that down.
What's the catch?
There is none.
Yeah, you got that look.
No.
I don't have the video.
I do.
Good. Put it on YouTube. See
What's
what
going to
happens.
happen to me?
Nothing.
Something bad's going to happen. I feel it. What?
Put it on YouTube. I think after 5 years, people would want to see
I
that.
think people do want to see it. It's really very entertaining.
Put it up there.
What's going to happen?
I've already said, I don't care.
Okay, there's nothing bad's going to happen to me if I put this up on YouTube.
I didn't say that.
Well, how am I going to do it then? You said to put it up there.
Put it up. I don't care.
You said you don't care.
I don't.
So why would something bad happen to me? So nothing bad's going to happen.
You didn't say that. Put it up. Try it for a couple of days. Let the paranoia eat at you.
I don't want it now. I know exactly where it is at home.
Okay.
Put it up.
Convert it to Flash and then put it up. Put it up in bits and pieces.
I'll edit it down. I think YouTube's got like a 10-minute limit.
All right. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Fidel Castro has announced that he is resigning as president of Cuba after almost 50 years. He's 81.
Did you guys get that I want him on my Deadpool?
I got that email, yes. And that's a clean one. He's still alive.
I thought he was on mine.
Did you put him back on after the first of the year?
I think I did.
Do you have the list, Dan?
Yeah, he's on Trey's. Perhaps a trade?
Well, let me see what I got.
Need to retype that.
All right, let's see. How old is Castro?
81.
I'll let Neil Armstrong.
There's nothing wrong with him.
NASA's going to get him sooner or later. As old as he is, he's getting ready to talk.
How old is he?
He was 35. It's a good trade. I also have... How come Amy Winehouse is marked off of this? I thought I got her.
No, I picked her back up after the new year.
Yeah. Let's see. Dom DeLuise. Who's James Brasher?
I don't recall.
What's written on here? Edward Furlong, kid from Terminator 2.
I'll do Dom DeLuise trade.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with them until you trade them.
Yeah, that in itself is like the kiss.
It really is. Tomorrow he'll have a heart attack.
I forget who I'm trading for now.
Fidel Castro.
Okay. I got Fidel. And let me mark that off. And you got Is he dead?
No.
Is he in a hospital?
Not that I've heard.
Rehab. Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay. I want a 24-hour performance guarantee. Where if you've screwed me, I get him back.
Just stick an asterisk next to it.
Well, I got time to go home and look. I'm laughing at Dan.
I didn't know he's going to die.
You're right, and Castro all lived to 300.
Yeah. The vampires stick together.
I don't know how the hell I called Christian Brando. Wasn't he in a coma when I called that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you leading right now? Does anybody have anything besides you?
Christian Brando, I got 51 points.
That's good.
JD, you've got 30 points. Suzanne Plachette died. Dan doesn't have anybody. Trey, that was from last year when he raped me for Robert Goulet.
You wanted to trade him.
I fought. No means no.
You wanted to get rid of him.
You took my Goulet. Something I'll never get back. And Chloe doesn't have anybody. Okay. So, JD, you got 30. I got 51.
Okay. How old is Dom DeLuise?
Probably 75.
Yeah, that'll be good 25 points for me.
Tomorrow?
At 4:21.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
Fidel Castro handed temporary power over to his 76-year-old brother Raul.
And his brother as big of a dick as Castro?
Yes.
Okay.
But
so no dancing in the streets?
Not yet. They just don't think Raul has the charisma to... I mean, you have to give Castro credit for nothing else. Staying in power for 50 years is pretty impressive.
Do they have elections?
No.
Okay, that's how you do it.
Well, but most people...
You don't give somebody credit for staying in power for 50 years if nobody gets to say so.
Dictator.
They've never really had a coup or anything.
Well... Who is it that's celebrating now? Because, is it Serbia sold Costco?
They're Kosovo. They want to split from each other.
Oh, Kosovo. I didn't understand the celebration.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Costco was a big company. Go ahead.
Oh, there's a lot of animosity. There was that whole ethnic cleansing thing. They really don't care for each other.
From Serbia?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Raul is assumed that he will take over permanently. All over the country, home foreclosure rates are through the roof, and that's actually a good thing for homeless people.
I never thought about this until I saw that story.
Yeah, according to Brian.
Because the banks don't go check on the houses. If it's a foreclosure, they very seldom send anybody out.
How would the homeless people know foreclosures? Is there like a list trade?
Nobody lives in the house.
Well, it doesn't mean anything.
Sometimes there's signs out front, right? That say foreclosure.
Oh, yeah.
Foreclosure pending. That means nobody's inside.
Okay. So they just break a window and go in and just live there.
Yeah, usually they have to post something on the door notifying them the final foreclosure.
And typically the lights, all the electricity, gas will still be on.
Well, actually, that's true because that house I bought was in foreclosure and the bank had taken it back, but everything still ran. Everything was fine.
Do they maintain it with yard mode?
Yes. Yard was mowed. The pool was cleaned.
So you got no reason as a homeless person not to take advantage of that.
I guess if you know which ones are, the cops aren't going to come check on or whatever, the neighbors aren't going to see a homeless person walking around in there and go, nobody lives there.
Well, and a lot of counties on their website will post pending foreclosures.
Homeless people don't have the internet.
But they can go to the library.
Yeah, that's where you see them.
Some of them already sleep there.
Inside?
No, usually outside the concept.
I don't think most of them have cards because normally they'll mail those to you.
Brian Davis, the director of the Northeast Ohio Coalition for the Homeless, says it's impossible to know just how many homeless people are squatting in foreclosed homes, but a recent census found there are half as many homeless people sleeping in downtown Cleveland as there were just last year, which comes out to possibly 2,000 squatters living in foreclosed homes. Illinois lawmakers moved swiftly after last year's massacre at Virginia Tech to make it harder for anyone with a history of mental illness to buy guns, fortifying what were already some of the nation's toughest weapons laws. But the new measure does not take effect until June, and whether it would have prevented last week's bloodbath at Northern Illinois University is far from clear. Stephen Kazmierczyk, the 27-year-old grad student who bought an arsenal of guns in recent months and used them to kill 5 people and commit suicide.
Why are they focusing on the fact that he got the guns legally?
Because it was like I said last week, anti-gun zealots are going to use this as, a way to say this is why we don't need to have any guns at all, period.
Well, those are the emails we got. And I can't believe anyone that listens to this show would have that opinion, but we got easily 5 or 6 people that were just adamant about the only thing that would have prevented that if nobody would have had guns. Tell Russ to shut up. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Because the guns are already in place. They're never going to go away. And if you think by cleaning out different zones or just taking guns away from us, you know what, you can't get one. That turns us all into a huge Amish community.
We've had this.
Well, the police have guns. Well, you know what? It takes the cops 3 or 4 minutes to get wherever you call them. That's assuming you can get to the phone, and getting shot for 3 or 4 minutes is a long time.
Again, and that wasn't just one email. There was a bunch of them that had that attitude.
And it wasn't like it was a phone call. They had time to stop, type it, think about it, and then send it.
And they were all almost the exact same.
How do you think you're going to round up every gun in this country?
Well, that's absurd. B, you're right. That turns us all into an Amish community. The guys that are killing people don't follow the rules. There'll still be guns out there.
Obviously, some of them do. This kid that...
well, he did because he could.
Where was this?
Oh, in Illinois.
Yeah. He went and got it. Didn't have to go to the black market.
But if he had
But that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't change the dynamics of what happened. And if you had a few students in there that were armed, that were of age, that had the training they needed, it wouldn't have been as big of a duck shoot.
And I just can't believe the volume and they weren't just like one-liners. They were like really thought-out paragraphs people were sending the emails. You want to email them back, but why bother? You're not going to change their mind. They think their guns...
If they're that adamant, then they're that ignorant,
right.
And you're not going to hip them to anything. Do you think hunters would go into the woods if some of the moose had nice Glocks?
I don't believe so.
That changes the whole dynamics of that. Yeah. You're not going to go in the woods if you've got random moose running around, and one of them might have a nice Winchester, who will shoot your eye out. And they go home and they're hanging on the front of his antler.
And that changes the whole game, doesn't it?
And it's not exactly the same thing.
It is, though.
But you're going to rethink walking into a wooded area if one of those animals is going to decide to take a shot at you.
You're right. You wouldn't go to a church. You wouldn't go to a school if by chance that there were 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 people in the whole place that might have weapons that
you're going to
pick twice.
You're going to pick and the fact that they kill themselves, that's of no consequence.
That was one of the else.
Why have guns? They're going to kill themselves anyway. So you can cut back on the carnage.
Yeah,
if they're going to kill themselves, then they don't care about deterrence. They pick places where they're going to have the least amount of resistance so they can do more carnage. And then they know. Then at the end, it's their decision. I get to take myself out.
As you said last week, this has never happened at a gun show. It's never happened at a gun range.
No, it doesn't happen at police stations. No. Very seldom at courthouses, and damn sure not at one of the big gun shows in Big Town.
Can you imagine?
Your ears would ring just from all the guns cocking. What, Trey?
But you can't just
I'd like to be there.
Yeah.
When some guy decides to nut out, well, there's a nice mall. I'll go in there. Clean them out.
It's just a big town. It's going to be a nice place.
Right next door to our Radio Shack. What do they have in there? What is it, Trey?
How do you do it? What kind of training? You have to put them through more than just a concealed handgun.
Okay, so put that in place. If you're going to be in college, you're going to have to, at 21, legally you can carry. Here are extra things that you're going to have to do.
Soldiers hit each other with friendly fire. So,
okay.
But do you think who's going to pay for it? Students pay for it if they want to carry?
Why not? I don't have any kids in college. Really, short of the disaster aspect, it's not really going to change anything for me. But if I got kids in college, and I know they're smart enough to carry a handgun, and they can go through the training. You're smart enough to go to college. You probably could go through the training for a concealed weapon.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got to be more like the air marshal training. I think JD said that last
Okay, well
week.
then give it to them. There's no argument against that. It's just having an entire auditorium. You know you can walk in with any type of weapon, and they can't go anyplace. 1, 2 doors. There's no place else to go.
No place to run, and if you do, you make yourself a bigger target.
I saw an interview with a guy. It was a debate between two people. There's actually a coalition of trying to get universities to lift bans on weapons.
I think there was a kid that called about that last week. So they weren't getting anywhere, but they had a group, whatever college he was at. That's what they were lobbying for. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden every kid on campus is going to have one, because some of them aren't going to be of age.
Well, that's what somebody emailed too. They went, well, now you have 100 people shooting. No, first of all, a room of 200 people, 100 aren't going to have guns. All it takes is 2 or 3, maybe 1, to stop the guy.
And if you go back and play it out this way, you're watching on the news, and this is simple enough for almost anybody to get. There's a college under siege. Mm-hmm. They're in the classroom where your kid is. Do you want somebody else in there to have a gun or no?
Yes, absolutely.
You decide, and then let your conscience tell me what the answer is.
Absolutely do. Period. And make
you want them to sit in there and pray and hope that God's going to watch over them, or you want somebody else in there to have a nice Glock.
Yep. Subsidize it with the college. Let the college.
I don't care how they pay for it. The guns should be in there. The training, the money. I don't care where that comes from. I'll even pay extra taxes. But the rest of it doesn't make any difference.
It's a ridiculous argument. I was surprised. Again, anyone that listens to this show, and there was a bunch of them.
Well, it's easy to say, well, we just got to get rid of all the guns. All right, you said it. Now
what?
Obviously, you're running for president. How are we going to do it? Where are you going to go? How are you going to go and ask somebody if they have a handgun? You can't just start going into houses and doing search and seizures. All of a sudden, your civil liberties really get in the way of that.
Not to mention the cost of something like that. I mean, can you imagine?
And they're still not going to be effective in a way. It's like trying to ship all the illegal aliens back. Okay.
It's a great idea.
First of all, where's the money going to come from? And if you don't secure the borders, they're going to be back here in about half hour. Just make them all in charge of mass transits. They're damn good at that.
They do it well.
I like your idea the best of everything you've said.
Who's?
Russ.
Oh.
If you're here illegally, you go help build the fence. If you can build the fence.
I don't think that was my idea, but it still makes sense. Mm-hmm. Build a fence, you get to stay. Build a fence, stay on this side.
Yeah, give them 30 days of building the fence.
And you'd have more than you'd ever need.
Oh, God. It'd be done in 27 minutes.
Do we build that too tall?
Well, 75 feet is a bit of a stretch. But I like the lights you put on it. And the runway on top.
The color is no problem?
No, that's very nice. Multiple colors and a little mural down there.
I do that with myself in honor of my chicken.
It's very... 60-foot chicken is very impressive.
It's also scary. I put the gun in his claw. Because he has the itchy trigger claw.
I wondered what that was. Now I know.
Right here? Yeah. All right.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
I think Ryan wants me to take. You gonna get Gail or you gonna keep digging? Gail, traffic. Check. One.
Is he digging his nose? He's behind me. I couldn't see.
Yeah. Hasn't it been about an hour?
Yeah. Yes. I'm so close to getting this one. It's almost there.
This one ain't getting away. I'll hide up in my brain. A bunch of one-armed boogers trying to get away from me. I've seen the fugitive. I'll get your ass. Hi, Gail.
Hi, Russ.
What you got?
Carter Ice Center, and they've cleared most of the wrecks on southbound 35. They had them at Oak Lawn and at Royal and at Valley View. What it did was leave a bunch of backups on southbound 35, and now in Louisville there's a wreck northbound 35 just before Vista Ridge in the two left lanes, and traffic is heavy from Frankford Road. And in Fort Worth, you've got heavy traffic on the North Freeway between Basswood and I-30 downtown. Westbound I-30, Tom Landry from Westmoreland all the way out to Walton Walker. They've got the left lane blocked for some road work. That's got you backed up to at least Hampton Road. Westbound LBJ at TI Boulevard, the right lane's blocked. That's heavy from Greenville. And then in Sunnyvale on eastbound 80 past Fork Road, the wreck's on the shoulder. The back up to Collins. I'm Gail Lightfoot on the Russ Martin Show.
Thanks, Gail. All right. 38 for the low tonight, and pretty nice tomorrow. Should be sunshine and 63. It's 64 now at Live 105.3.
Ryan, would you like some needle nose?
Haven't you done that before?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Needle nose pliers to get a boog.
Yeah.
Oh, why? How can it be that hard to get?
I'm not going to. Sometimes it'll get all the way up in your nose, and I'm not going to let a crusty wad of snot outsmart me.
You got the needle nose pliers after it.
There's nothing up there really to grab.
I know. Just seems like you got to be able to get it with your finger.
No, sometimes they grab a hole and they look in there, like cats going to the bathroom.
I hate the ones that disappear.
Oh yeah, you had it. It's gone.
Where do they go? And you never see it again. I mean, is it stored someplace or is it make a run for it?
I have no clue. Why we're talking about boogers that got away?
You're not curious where they go when you push them up into your head?
I normally just blow and they come out.
Well, they don't always come out.
I feel like go down your throat.
I would think you'd notice that.
Yeah, especially some of the ones I had a run-in with.
Run-in.
All right. Yes, JR.
Yeah, hi. Russ, I'm afraid I'm going to have to disagree with you about the arming all the students in the classrooms.
I didn't say all of them. I said some of them.
Okay. Some of them, the seniors, I think is what you were saying. Because
anybody of age where it's legal to arm someone.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to still disagree.
I got that the first time. You going to tell me why? Are you going to keep that?
No, I won't keep it in a secret.
Say it.
The first thing is the mindset. If you don't have a warrior mindset, you cannot pull the trigger and try and kill somebody.
You ever been in a situation like that?
Yes, I have.
You've been in a college campus, you're trapped in a room, and somebody's in there with am I still talking? And somebody's, the answer is yes. And somebody's in there with an automatic weapon.
You done?
I just asked you a question.
And I gave you an answer.
No, you didn't wait. No, you didn't let me finish. And you said yes, then you said no. I'm taking the phones back up.
No, you can't. Talk station.
Now, you want to try it again?
Sure.
You've been in an auditorium, somebody's in there with an automatic weapon, you got no way out, and they're killing people left and right. That's happened to you.
No. That's a situation.
That's not what I'm asking. In combat, you had a weapon.
What I'm trying to say,
what
Russ,
you're not telling me is what you mean.
Opportunity.
You'll get through this.
Okay.
Adrenaline.
What?
Going through you.
And you don't think that you would have... All right.
Maybe not.
And you don't think in a classroom where your friends are being killed like animals that you're not going to have the adrenaline to pull that weapon out and try and save somebody in your family? You don't think that's going to come into play?
Russ, I think you've got too much adrenaline to do that.
That doesn't make any sense.
Sure it does.
All right, you know what? This ain't going to be one of those agree to disagree. You're an idiot.
Like, just before you get into a fight.
You know what? You haven't been in this... Shut up. You haven't been in the situation,
hey,
so you don't...
tell me to shut up.
Oh.
Wow.
Very ugly man.
Yes, quite bold. Offensive. I believe he was going to call you a nasty word.
Certainly not the way that we argue around here.
No.
You're not going to listen to me, and you're not going to let an entire question get out. First you say yes, then you say no. Then, yeah, at a certain point, you are going to have to shut up because you're not telling me anything.
You're not listening.
You're not going to have the adrenaline. All right, well, you're going to have too much adrenaline. Please pick a position and sit with it for a couple of seconds. Stop folding like a paper napkin. It's very hard to argue with people like you. Forever.
Well, and one of your points is just the mere presence of the chance someone might have a gun will deter.
I didn't say it was a deterrent, but it could help cut back on the carnage. Again, they may think, all right, this campus allows handguns. I want to go someplace and do the most damage I can. I believe I'll pick somebody else.
Might happen. But even if
it's like we were
doesn't.
talking about earlier. If the Bears had weapons, you wouldn't have as many people in the woods.
Yeah,
especially if the Bears started setting up their own feeders with little posters of Big Enos Burdett, free Toughskins, Pigskins, Roy Clark here tonight, a nice NASCAR hood. And they would sit there and they would just wait for the feeder to fill up. Nice glass full of cornbread and milk. Be nonstop. Pot pies with both the top and the bottom crust.
Ooh.
That would be
that would do enough. Yeah, that would seal it.
You'd run out of ammo as a bear. Okay.
And he's screaming at the radio right now. We're not talking about bears!
You're the idiot that called up to argue with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Line 2. Hello, Susan.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. How's your day been?
I listen to your show every day.
I'm asking you about your day.
Beg your pardon?
How's your day been?
Well, it's fine.
Okay. What'd you do this morning?
I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about you.
Well, you know what? If we can't have a pleasant conversation, I have no use for you.
You don't have any use for anybody. I don't even know why you take phone calls. You're rude.
That's a damn valid point.
Well, you don't say that. It's hard enough keeping this phone in the studio. He's cut the line twice.
I remember the first couple of years I screened calls. I thought, why the hell am I even here?
What they don't get is if you've got some semblance of intelligence, yeah, we're going to have a conversation. But if you're going to sit there and babble and you think, I'm going to wait for you to finish, then something awful has happened to you or is about to.
I thought we were going to do 5 minutes of nice radio.
Today?
After that phone call.
We started it off.
Oh, with her? Uh-huh. Well, it said on the screen, why are you rude to everybody, so I thought I'd piss her off. But if they've got this conception that I'm going to talk and I'm going to get my entire point out, I don't have time to listen to your entire point. And there's a really good chance I already know what you're going to say. Think of me as a movie editor, and you just got cut out of this scene.
They listen to other talk shows, and they assume it's going to go somewhat in that direction.
Well, then they're a fool.
You talk, and they say their whole point, and they get all that out. And
there's no reason to. First of all, they don't do it for a living. They don't know how to edit. They don't know how to keep things concise. No. They want to tell me everything about them that I don't need. All I need is what you're trying to tell me. I don't need anything that led up to it. I don't need anything after it. And then that'll allow me to get back to my bear story.
I'd love to be in the car with that guy screaming at his radio right now.
Bears! He's actually giving himself some dash.
Let's see if I want to take any of those. Bears. No. They can screen some more. I'm not going to take those idiots. All right.
And where would a bear get a Roy Clark plate? That makes no sense.
eBay.
Craigslist. Well, I'm asking about the Roy Clark plate. Where did he get a shotgun?
That's an excellent point, Jay. Why are you worried more about the bear having a Roy Clark plate?
Something about the plate. I don't know. That bothers me. Seems like they.
You don't mind the fact that where we're talking about analogies of bears having guns. You got no problem with that. It's the fact that they were devious enough to set up feeders. Where did they get the NASCAR hood?
That's what I was.
How did they get the TMS? Do they just let them in?
They don't just give those hoods away.
Did he wait by the side of the road and ripped off one as it came by?
All questions that will go answered, I suppose, today.
All right. 7. Yes, Jared.
Hey, I think that the teachers should have guns more of the line.
Okay, and this is why he just got edited out of the scene. I've already addressed why you can't just say the teachers and the profs or identified people would have weapons, because then you walk into the auditorium, you pop whoever it is that's supposed to have the gun, and then you continue on with your day.
Exactly.
You can't say just the teachers, the professors, or the armed guards. They all stand out. You know who's going to get it.
Yeah.
Plus, it doesn't matter. It's like you keep having to say over and over again, you're in school, you're of age, 21. There's no reason why you shouldn't have the same responsibility, which you do by the law, shouldn't be able to carry a gun the same as a teacher could.
Yeah, at that point, if you're going to give them the training, and if it's legal for them to carry it in public, in a mall, anywhere else,
you should be able to carry it in school.
Why are you really concerned about school?
Shouldn't be at all.
Smart enough to be in college. There are a lot of stupid people with CHLs. I've been to the classes.
I know.
There was this big fat lady, never touched a handgun ever, and she passed that CHL course.
Yep, I know.
And we all had to stand there on the range while she figured out how to use it. Most of us sat.
I understand.
Any more of these before we move on? 4? Okay. Yes, Kristen.
Yeah, I just, I'm, on the fence about whether I agree or disagree, and I was just curious.
All right. Go ahead.
As to what your stance would be on if a student that was carrying a weapon was aiming at the suspect or the person shooting innocent people, and that person
missed. Shot an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
Well, you can what if until the issue's dead. More guns, but for people to say less guns, you got to get rid of all the guns, that's not going to be the answer. Less guns ain't working. Status quo ain't working. And I'm not saying bring in an entire militia. Just if you're of age and it's legal for you to carry a handgun, at least give these kids a half a chance when somebody comes in there to mow them down.
I agree.
You can play the what ifs until you talk yourself out of it. But but in the end result, these kids are still dead.
Right.
See, that was nice, wasn't it?
I was kind of scared to,
Well, that's okay. Not everybody's an idiot. You're welcome to call again.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
And I just can't stand that argument that the guy was trying to say earlier that, well, how do you know if you're in that situation, you have a gun, you'd be able to pull the trigger? Well, that's not a fair assessment to keep me from having a gun. Even if I have the gun and and for whatever reason I can't pull the trigger, oh well, maybe the kid sitting next to me would. Maybe he grabbed the gun and shoot him.
Well, why would you bring that up?
Yeah.
Why, do you know if you're going to have the guts to pull the trigger?
Yes.
Well, if I don't, then I don't shoot anybody. If I don't have the gun, then I don't even get to make that decision. So nobody still gets shot.
You don't have that
So your concern is what?
Exactly. And chances are, if you've gone out of your way to get the CHL class and the training that it requires to carry the gun,
this scenario through your head a few times.
Chances are you at least feel like you would be able to do so.
And that doesn't mean just because you've done everything that you're supposed to, that you're going to have it within you to kill somebody. But you will tell me that, well, you're not going to have the adrenaline. And then play the other side. Well, you're going to have too much adrenaline. And then you kill everybody.
I believe I
How do we get anything done if you've got people sitting on both sides, or especially one side? What if? I can't what if you. I can tell you what has, and you can go back and look at all these dead kids. You can play the scenario out any way you want, but this is a really hard argument for you to win.
I can't see anyone can argue the other side. Really?
Because they want to take it and just throw it in the complete opposite direction. You're going to have an entire auditorium full of kids carrying handguns. No, you can't. Not all of them are going to want guns. Not all of them are going to be of age. Not all of them are going to want to go through the training. Shut up.
If it's just one or two.
Unless it's Kristen and you're still welcome to come back. What, John?
If it's just one or two, which is most likely in an auditorium full of 300 people, you're going to have 2. That's enough to stop somebody. You're not going to deter them. We know that. They're crazy, or they wouldn't be there. You're not going to deter them. You can stop the carnage.
But if it works as a slight deterrent...
Maybe a slight deterrent.
then bonus.
Well, that's the idiotic thing, obviously, as well as everyone that's on, that disagrees with that of having, guns on campus.
Hang on a second. Mike Snyder's on Channel 5. I think he's saying the N-word.
What?
I don't know.
Roll.
Intersection of Tierney and Rosedale, and NBC5 Susie Solis joined us now with us.
Just had a big graphic up over his head
we have
that
this
said
story. We have this
N-word.
Oh.
Well, I didn't know if he was saying it, and they didn't want to put it in.
I thought you were about to say it was a
Following
picture.
each phrase, anyone...
Okay, well, what's the story then?
Actually, we've got that. A Fort Worth Tavern owner is stirring up the Stop 6 neighborhood with his signs encouraging better behavior. The controversy is not in the message, but in the use of the N-word the current sign uses to address gang members, asking them to refrain from attacks in his place. While some activists are demanding that the sign come down, the bar owner says his use of the N-word is not offensive because he, too, is African-American and understands the culture.
Hang on, is that the owner right there on
I
television?
believe that is.
In a different kind of way that it's not offensive.
We're trying to get rid of it. They want to bring it back up by you.
Black people.
Back it up.
Late to his neighborhood by sending... The controversial banner says no gang members are allowed in his business and says save the children with the N-word following each phrase. Anyone driving on Rosedale can clearly see the sign. Some nearby...
The name of that dump is Classy Ladies?
Yes.
All right. Maybe it's nicer than it sounds.
Possibly inside.
Residents say the bar owner is simply trying to create change in the neighborhood by sending the message that gangs are not welcome there. Neighbors say the message is a good one, but it's lost by the use of the N-word. Others say the bar owner is simply trying to relate to his patrons.
People use...
I'm not sure that's something I'd put in a marketing plan.
No.
Or a campaign.
Only not on the side of your building.
Yeah.
Big letters.
I like to appeal to my patrons, and here are the words that I like to use. So if this is you, come on in.
Sounds more like a bar JD would open.
Hey,
oh, wow.
on a common, everyday basis in the hood, and it's black people. And you can relate to it and say it in a different kind of way that it's not offensive.
We're trying to get rid of it. They want to bring it back up by using this sign to say the N-word. So, basically, I don't like it.
And we spoke with Fort Worth City Council member Frank Moss. He said while he disagrees with the use of the word, as long as the bar owner is in compliance with the banner law, there's nothing they can do to make him take the banner down. The bar owner was not available for comment.
I would think if he had have ended it with the GGA at the end, when you sent it with my, they wouldn't
be as big of
a stink with this.
No, it's just bold. I have the bar owner actually on cut number 26.
All right.
Saying basically I can do whatever I want to, and I'll do it as long as I can and change it.
I can only keep that sign up 30 days, then I take that sign down, then I have to put another one up. The next one I put up, quit getting drunk one. That's the next one I'm going to put up.
And I missed it. What do these first banners say? Is it the story?
Gangbangers.
Yeah, it was, damn it, where did it go? It was gangbangers. It was on the TV thing. I'm not seeing it right here.
Like, keep out, you're not allowed in here. Oh. Save my show. Save the children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no gangbanging allowed, comma, my end, and then the save the children, comma, my end.
Oh, all right. That was the only cut you got from him?
Yeah, Carol. He apparently doesn't want to do a whole lot of interviews. This is all they got from him, and then he kind of wanted to shut up.
Well, he's trying to do something. I don't know if that's again the marketing campaign that you like to use.
No.
At least if you're going to put that up there, follow it with a little emoticon, nice little smiley face. I wouldn't use the yellow.
No. I called over there. No one answered the phone, and then I did get a hold of one of the neighbors that is against it. If you want him, I
would think most of the neighbors wouldn't be too hip on it because, first of all, now you've got the N-word on the side of a building. Now you get media attention, which points out that area of town is high crime. So again, it's not really doing much for your commerce.
He's going to put another one up.
I can only keep that sign up 30 days, then I take that sign down, then I have to put another one up. The next one I put up, quit getting drunk one. That's the next one I'm going to put up.
So he did his research. He knows how long he can keep the sign up.
I can't believe that there's not something in the ordinance that said racial slurs.
You would think that would be written into the law.
But just any banner for 30 days. We don't care what it says.
Apparently, as long as, it's that word apparently is acceptable.
And me, as a cowardly white person, would keep me from going into the classy lady.
As great as it looks like on the outside.
Again, I'm sure it's probably nicer than it sounds.
Maybe.
Do we need a break? Yeah. All right.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
Have you always said that?
Yes, that's the way it is. You're a dumbass. My lord.
Perhaps in Uptown.
No, that's pretty universal.
You're a jackass.
You're from the Grove.
Arguing about. I've been out of the room. Excuse me.
And then he goes and looks it up on the internet just to prove that I'm wrong.
Oh, Dan Lewis used to do that.
Yeah, that was a typical Dan Lewis move. Well, here's what it says. There are a lot of things on the internet that's written by buffoons.
I can't believe you're this dumb.
What is it? What are you two arguing about?
I'm trying to explain to him that it's chest of drawers, not Chester drawers.
This is what we spent our dynamic break on?
Ben, I was shopping for furniture yesterday, and I called it a chest of drawers. He says it's chest of drawers. I said, no, that's where he kept his pants. Then he goes, he pulls up on the internet. Chest of drawers. It's a big chest full of drawers.
Uh-huh.
It's a chest with pants in it.
No.
Chest of drawers.
I gotta go with Trey on this one.
Well, both of you are buffoons.
No, you're an idiot.
What idiot's going to argue with me about
Chester drawers?
Yes.
This is a person's name,
Chester? Get off the internet. And that's where he kept his pants. Just like the linen closet. Thank you.
Can't argue with that one. What would be the point?
It was just funny because it started out, I knew it was chest of drawers. I'm just not going to run around. And he went, you're from the Grove. Why? He said, it's chest of drawers. And at that point, I just went the other direction.
Just to get him twisted?
No. Chester, the man who designed this thing, specifically designed that to keep his pantaloons in there. Chester's drawer.
And you spent time on the internet trade doing research on chest of drawers?
That was the best. That was the best part. He comes up and he goes, see? What is that? I don't know. Photoshop?
Something you made up. Oh, my God.
Ready for more news, Dan?
Sure.
Oh, I forgot to play this. Chloe brought this in about a week and a half ago. When did you do this?
I think it was Sunday morning. I forgot when. Woke up with a hangover, and my girl went to the bathroom.
How did you happen to catch her in the middle of it?
Oh, because she got up first, and then I was like, I wonder where she's going. So I just a little bit later. So what's she up so early for? And then I just kind of was walking by. I was like,
and at first it sounds like Chloe's trying to mimic me.
Okay.
The way that I was terrorizing Amy.
Oh, okay.
But he takes on his own flair.
What are you doing?
Go away. What do you think I'm doing?
Are you taking a
Go back to bed.
Oh my God, it smells even to the crack of the silver.
Sit on your bed if you go in your sleep. It'll go away.
Hang on a second.
Here he comes. Okay.
Got a song I want to sing you.
Go the away.
Hang on.
Don't try and understand the lyrics.
Okay.
Just think of the magical moment.
All right. Serenade.
As Trey and I listen back and forth, we can't decipher.
You like that, baby?
Go
Okay. You ready for the second verse? Here we go.
I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but it was a bunch of effing and essing. Because I was hungover.
Okay. You ready for the second verse? Here we go.
I never got this far. What happened here?
She opens the door and starts chasing me, tries to grab the guitar away from me, and tries to start beating me with it.
Here we go.
That's pretty much it. We're in the backyard by now.
I don't get the anal nature of them.
Women get very violent.
I know, but why?
Because they don't want
It doesn't bother me if somebody's beating on the door while I'm in there
because they
taking a crap.
I told you it was years before Joy would even let me be in the house. I don't know how she held it, but they just don't think it's very ladylike.
You know, it's a necessary evil for them. We enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. We embrace it.
They spend a lot of time in there. The one time that I went back and got Amy, I walked into the master. She was in there. The door was open. All right. She saw me. I left to go get the recorder. By the time I came back, she was still going at it. She weighs 100 pounds. How much can she really be transporting?
How long will this take?
Yeah. Do we still have that one, Chloe?
Cut 14.
Is this the one with the firework or no?
This is the second one.
No firework? What one played yesterday? One with bottle rocket? Okay.
Chasers.
What cut?
14.
That song's in my head.
Yeah.
Little baby. What are the lyrics? So I know what to sing.
My baby is taking a big GD effing S.
All right. Write those down. What kind am I looking for?
14.
Move that.
Oh, the smell. Yes, it does.
It does not.
What are you doing?
Leave me alone.
Oh, my...
Oh, shut up, you pansy.
Is the toilet full?
Shut up.
Oh!
Leave me alone.
Oh, food! Damn!
Whatever.
How many people are in there?
I've left some bathrooms quite disturbed. But this was just...
You weren't overacting?
This one was...
To make her feel bad?
Poo... No.
Oh,
no. This was very poo carpish.
I believe you referenced that later on in this.
Yeah.
Ask her a question about it.
Damn.
Whatever.
How many people are in there?
Get out of here.
Oh, damn.
Come on.
Oh, damn. Woo.
Russ, this is a 9,000 square foot home. Go to the other side.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I smell it.
No, you don't.
Oh.
You smell that chaw packet.
Really, as stinchy as it was, that's all you could get out of your mouth.
The woo?
Yeah. I tried to form words a couple of times and I stammered. The woo was the easiest way to go.
So now she's not only embarrassed you caught her, but it's putrid.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I smell it.
No, you don't.
Oh.
You smell that chaw packet. You better stop. I'm gonna get pissed off.
What are you doing?
Stop it. It's not stinky at all.
does.
It does not stink.
Are you out of your ass and your
That was the question.
What was that you tried to hand me, Chloe?
Oh, the one with fireworks.
Didn't they run on Besto yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps another time. Did JD's run where he's got the art? Did that run yesterday?
No.
Let me have the art one. We're going to have to record some new ones.
Yeah. It's harder to catch them, though, now, because now they know we're coming after them.
I don't think that's always in the back of their mind.
No.
My baby.
It's going to be easier now to catch Joy, though. She's doing it more. As we're on this new water, this crazy water. Janet St. James did a story about this on the mineral wells. And this stuff, have a bottle of this. I did 6.
What, just got a lot of sulfur in it?
It's got all kinds of minerals in it. It's got number 1, 2, 3, and number 4. Number 1 is no minerals. Number 2 is low, then medium, and high. It's got a ton of stuff. It's got.
You went to Mineral Wells to get that?
Actually, you can get it at Whole Foods also. But Joey stopped off at Mineral Wells to get a case of it.
Let me see.
I went 6 times yesterday.
Just to pee or grunt?
Grunt.
Why did it make you grunt?
I have no clue. I couldn't stop.
That doesn't concern you that you're drinking something out of a deep well? It makes you grunt?
No.
That's your body's way of saying, no, thank you, I don't want this.
It's a natural laxative. They said that. They said you have too much of it, it'll make you grunt a lot.
Well, why don't you just have prunes?
It's just water. That's
a natural laxative.
Yeah, well, I just want water. I don't drink water all day.
Does it taste funny at all?
You know, the number 4 does. The number 4's got a little bit. I think I actually have a bottle of number.
So this one's number 3.
That's 3. 1, 2, and 3 taste like water. 4, you can. It's not horrible. It's not like you're drinking a vitamin, but you can taste it's a little harsher.
Why would one person take 2 and one person take 4?
Again, they don't.
How much of the squirts you want?
They don't recommend you drink the 4 all day. Just you drink the 2 and the 3 all day. But 4 is for like special occasions.
Is it like that colon blow stuff?
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Well, here's what it says. The famous Mineral Wells waters have long been known for their unique. Well, I saw this story. I don't remember talking about weight loss. They just said that they said it made them feel better.
Yeah, energy, feel better. Just drink water all day. Might as well drink it with something in it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I just didn't know why mineral. You heard of Mineral Wells forever. I just didn't know that's why it was named that, and that they had been bottling this water forever.
Content since the discovery in the 1890s, the flavorful mineral waters of Mineral Wells have been sought for over a century since reputedly curing a crazy woman that drank from the well. Crazy number 3, which is what JD has here, is drawn from a protected source 360 feet below the Earth's surface. With Crazy number 3's refreshing mineral taste, you can drink it throughout the day. Many of our mineral water patrons drink Crazy number 3 in combination with Crazy number 4, a higher mineral content water. Famous since 1904. Alkaline water. That's what it's billed as.
Yeah.
And how much of that are you drinking?
So far, I've had just this much. What is this? 16 ounces today. That's a liter.
What is it with you being pissed off at your ass?
Not. I like
For the past 2 months, you've been taking things in, that ally stuff, and now this, just because obviously you're twisted at your hole.
I'm not mad at my hole.
Are you doing both?
Huh? No, I stopped the ally because I was leaking.
And you don't leak from this?
No. Oh, it's just water. No. You crap a lot.
Big crap?
First one in the morning then the rest of them were really normal. They were almost average, but 6 times. It was crazy. Water.
Are you eating anything different?
Nope. In fact, it really limits your appetite. I don't know if that's just me or if that's me getting used to it.
So does Skull. I don't eat as much when I got the Skull.
Skull's not as healthy for you as water would be.
You don't know that. That come out of the ground.
It gets purified, put in a bottle. I'm sure it's fine. It's water.
It comes out of the ground.
It's just water.
So you'll question things that I'll get with a little Viking head, but because this comes out of the ground and it's got a nice green label on it, it's safe.
Yes, it's been approved by whoever it is that puts this out. When you get off the internet, you get no clue who put that together.
All right, who approved that bottle of water?
Well, I'm sure if I look hard enough, it'll...
So you didn't even check it out?
It's been there for 100 years. I think it's okay. The famous Deep Well, Famous Mineral Waters Company. Huh. It's a company. Labels and everything.
Okay. Why don't you just do normal stuff?
Now, just water's normal. How much more normal can you get than water?
But you're going to Mineral Wells for the number 3.
Yeah, and the number 4.
Why not just drink it out of the tap? You don't want tap water. That's out of the freaking ground.
Tap water's they've got fluoride in it and all kinds of stuff. I really don't
Fluoride is good for your teeth.
Well, this has got all kinds of good stuff for you.
That's got nothing in it, but it just come out of the ground.
It's got a ton of stuff in it. It's got calcium, potassium, bicarbonate. It's got silica.
It is amazing what you can stick on a label and JD will ingest.
Magnesium, sulfide,
I can concoct some type of product, make it sound like it was going to do everything that he wants, and actually just take milk from Dan's nipples and he'd drink it.
And fluoride. Sorry, fluoride. So I'm good. I'm getting the fluoride.
How did my nipples get involved in this?
I don't know, but just turn them on.
What do they look like?
Please tell me you're asking about the water somehow.
Okay.
Thank you.
What do they look like? Wet.
Yeah, I'll be glad to pour some on your nipples if you like.
I don't remember. Do you have hair around your nipples?
I've got some chest hair, yes.
Oh. Specifically around your nipples? Or is that like a sacred zone?
I'm just going to ignore.
Sometimes, What?
Those are little dimples around the...
Yeah. Do you have those?
It depends if I'm cold. Can we do more news?
Well, you don't like the fact that I think your nipples should have a sacred zone? Little nipple temples.
I will.
The only reason that's funny is because Dan's a homophobe.
That it almost rhymes. As delightful as you make that seem, I'd be okay not to have any nipple temples.
No. Not even one up on a pedestal? Little pink Hershey's Kiss.
No, I'm good, thank you.
All right. You want to finish news?
I'd so happy to.
All right. But first, before we let you continue with news, let's all pray to Dan's nipples.
Squirt, squirt, get up. This is the gayest show.
You watch. I'll get some of the Dallas Stars to come in here and rub them for a game.
Good luck, nipples.
Better than Mineral Wells.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys? What? With the Dallas Cowboys, before a game, they'll go down and they'll touch this big painted helmet on the side as good luck.
I don't have championship nipples. Knock it off.
So we can have Dan at the Stars game.
You've never been to a game and let them rub your nipples before. Why don't you give us that little ump that we need and help us go to the Super Bowl?
My nipples have nothing to do with going to the Super Bowl.
We've never been. You don't know.
Yes, the Cowboys have been to the Super Bowl, just not the current team.
Well,
and from the looks of it, they seem to be doing fine in the nipple arena.
Troy Aikman ever rub your nipples?
No.
What about Pat Summerall?
He's squirrely, so I can't really know for sure.
Okay. Jim Wright?
Nipples. Yes, they are. They're nipples.
Let's cut the rest of that tongue out.
No milk.
One of these days you're going to be doing that voice. You're going to bite through your own tongue.
I almost passed that. Go ahead.
Okay. Oil futures shot higher Tuesday, closing above $100 for the first time as investors bet that crude prices will keep climbing. Sorry, thought Judy was staring at my nipples.
No, I'm looking.
Despite evidence of plentiful supplies and falling demand at the pump, gas prices rose further above $3 a gallon. There was no single driver behind oil's sharp price jump. Investors seized on an explosion at 67,000 barrels per day refinery in Texas. The falling dollar, the possibility that OPEC may cut production next month, the threat of new violence in Nigeria, and continuing tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela.
How about it once I've sent 3 hell nipples and a little tweak so I can be forgiven.
Stop it.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is so surreal.
Go ahead.
An Orlando woman is accused of beating her young grandson so badly he lost consciousness. Dolores Henderson, who's 55, was walking down the street, hitting the 2-year-old in the stroller and slamming the stroller into the curb. Barbara Matthews with Cocoa Police said the incident occurred at the intersection of Fiske and Dixon Boulevard. Police arrived after being contacted by witnesses. Police said the beatings didn't stop even after Henderson dumped the boy out of his stroller and onto the concrete.
She never said why?
No. As the officer drove up, he saw her hitting the child in the head. She was slapping him with her open hand. The officer described it as looking like a rag doll. She threw him back in the stroller and then started to hit him some more. An officer was eventually able to wrestle Henderson away from the child, but then the boy got up after being briefly unconscious. The child was walking around.
Isn't 2 years old a little old to be in a stroller?
Yeah, you can walk.
It just depends.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they can walk. A 2-year-old can walk around, but if you're walking a great distance, it's just easier to chunk him in there.
And beat him.
Well, I didn't say that. The child was walking toward traffic, and the officer was still struggling with her. He was trying to make the decision to let go of her, grab the child, and just then, fortunately for everyone, a witness came up and grabbed the child before he could get out into traffic.
What's the decision? What's the quandary? You knock the bitch out, you go get the kid.
I'm not sure that he knew how to just knock the bitch out.
Yeah.
She was struggling with him. She was weird. They didn't even put her in the police car. She mumbled something about the KKK, and it was their fault. She was beating on her kid. Anybody else see that video? It's a real short clip.
I didn't.
Freaky little...
She never explained how the KKK was a catalyst to beat this child.
Just angry, and it's the KKK's fault.
Was she a white chick?
No, black woman. And the grandmother. This is someone who shouldn't be around the kids. What a freak. I'm good. It's the crazy water, I tell you.
The grandmother is charged with aggravated battery and child abuse. She is still in jail. Police did not receive an explanation as to why she may have done it.
Flo, do we have any scissors?
On my desk, Flo.
Lean forward, Dan.
Why?
I want to cut the shirt out around your nipples.
No.
I want to see my messiahs.
No.
Let me pray to your nipples.
No.
I have a separate shirt if you don't want to run that one.
Yeah. Wear something nippleless tomorrow.
No.
Okay. Yeah, go get some ice, Chloe.
What are you doing? What is the sudden obsession with my nipples?
Get it out of the way. Whip them out so we can see them.
No.
Get it out of the way.
No, I'm not giving in.
Well, what were we doing last week where Dan went on a homophobe tear?
You were asking JD all the sex questions about me and then something about me and Chuck making out.
Also walked him really, really close to him, getting his personal space.
Yeah, try that now, see what happens.
Why does that get at you? We're not really going to pray to your nipples. We're not going to.
You already did.
We're not going to construct some type of nipple temple.
Yes, you will.
Big pink pyramids.
See?
Only round. Put one of those heads on it. All those things. Statues. Egypt. Work with me.
Sorry.
Sphinx?
Yeah. Sphinx with great big nipples.
8 of them.
I'm not a cat.
God, I wish you were. Wouldn't have to go around. Look at this. I brought nipples for the whole room. Look at this.
I know.
How long before we need a break? How long before we need a break?
No.
Oh. Why is it you don't want us to cherish you? You could tour the country.
Yes.
I'd rather you cherish me in other ways.
You could have an entire roaming museum. King Tit.
All right, maybe you swayed me.
Welcome back.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
I got loaded. You haven't played it in a while.
Here are the rules for calling the Russ Martin Show. Do not call and ask for phone numbers or websites. Do not call with a joke you saw in a movie, on TV, on a bumper sticker, on the internet, or you heard in the 8th grade. Do not call and ask for advertisers' phone numbers. Call information and ask them. Do turn your radio down. Do get to the point. Practice in front of a mirror before calling. Do not waste time telling Russ your name. He's far too important and busy. You won't remember it anyway. If you understand these rules, call Russ now at 214-787-1053.
All right, Dan.
A Southwest Florida church issued a challenge for...
Hold on. Is that Gail? Sorry, you're Tutankhamun. Hi, Gail.
Hi there.
What you got?
Well, I've got Texas Motor Speedway. On Loop 12, Walton Walker near Keith, we're getting reports of a wreck. We just don't have a direction on that one yet. On northbound 35 past Royal, they just cleared a stalled vehicle, but traffic's backed up all the way to Empire Central. Still have the left lane blocked on westbound 30 Tom Landry from Westmoreland over to Loop 12, Walton Walker. They're doing road work during rush hour, backing you up toward downtown. In Fort Worth, a wreck southbound 820 at Ramey is in the right lane. That's heavy from around Meadowbrook. In McKinney, northbound 75 at El Dorado Parkway, there's a crash on the left shoulder. It's heavy from Exchange Parkway. And they just picked up some road work in University Park on eastbound northwest at Hillcrest. That's back up all the way to the tollway. I'm Gail Lightfoot on the Russ Martin Show.
See, all right. 38 for the low tonight. Going to be a little cooler tomorrow. 63 for the high. It's 64 now at Live 105.3.
All right, go ahead, man.
Okay. The Southwest Florida Church issued a challenge for its married members this past Sunday. Have sex every day. Relevant church head pastor Paul Worth says the 50% divorce rate was the catalyst for the 30-day sex challenge. He says then that's no different for people who attend church. Sometimes life gets in the way, our jobs get in the way. And the flip side of the challenge, no rolling in the sheets for the unwed. Church member
But
Tim.
just for a month.
Yeah.
So the rest of the time the church condones premarital sex.
Now, another story that I read over the weekend said that his idea of it is he's read that it takes about 30 days to form a habit. So if he thinks that singles can stay without for 30 days, then maybe they'll stick with it after the 30 days.
A habit is an addiction that you really don't need. Right. You already have a drive to have sex. So going without it for 30 days, it's not going to squelch it.
Nope.
In fact, at the end of the month.
No one's going to do that anyway. Nobody, come on. If you're already having sex, what's that really going to do? 30 days. Unless you're doing a Lent type thing, and then you have a certain, I guess.
Well, it's just not about abstinence. It's one or the other. If you're a married couple, then it's how to spend more time together, right?
Yeah, stay connected. And they figure if you're having sex every day with the other person, you're going to be closer, could talk more.
You're going to get less stuff done, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. Why?
The reason a lot of people don't get around to having sex is because of jobs, kids, other responsibilities. And if you put all those aside to go plow somebody, then those things aren't going to get done. You're going to lose your house. No. You're going to be screwing outside.
I don't think he's talking about it that much. I mean, you can put aside 10 minutes, 15. Well, really, how long does the average quickie last?
I don't think they're talking about quickies. They're talking about
a long
continuing
session?
that bond.
No. There'll be none of that. There'll be no bond.
Yeah, church member Tim Jones and his fiancée agreed to take on the challenge, though he acknowledges it'll be a tough month. But he added, I think it's worth trying to find out other things about each other. And that's because he's unwed.
I got it.
And stupid.
Yeah, you go a few weeks. All of a sudden, somebody in that loincloth's going to start looking kind of hot.
Stop. What is the deal with all the gay stuff? Now, were you talking about Jesus? Is that you talking about Jesus looking hot?
Maybe.
Well, between Dan's nipples and Jesus, you're on a fast train to hell.
Please don't put my nipples in the same frame of reference with Jesus.
I'm putting it in the same quarter hours. What I'm doing.
Go ahead.
All right. TMZ has learned that Dwayne Dog Chapman will be back in business and back on the air on A&E. A network official confirmed to TMZ that the show is going back into production, but they've not yet set a premiere date. As of now, they're gearing up in Hawaii, and production will begin ASAP.
They're gonna have to have him go through some type of rehab for his extravaganza. That's the only way that is he going to be back on A&E?
Yes, yeah, it'll be back on A&E.
That's the way that they keep everybody off their ass. We're going to take this, we're going to twist it, going to make it a positive to show how somebody could use language like that, could turn around and realize why it's not something, whether it's a private conversation or no.
It's not something you do.
It's just going to go back and teach you how to not get caught.
I think probably you're right, because they even addressed that, the fact that A&E is very pleased with the way he's handled it, and they're going to come out and they're going to make a little presentation of
what has he done? He just went into hiding.
No, he actually went into, isn't there a group he met with in the bottom part of the story?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, sorry, excuse me. He just began his tour of forgiveness, working with CORE and other groups to promote racial equality. And apparently the A&E brass were very pleased with his attempts to make amends and his reaching out to members of the African-American community.
Yeah, YO, wasn't that part of his daily regimen before he got caught?
I mean, because I hadn't got caught yet. It's the only way to bring the show back. You're right. Is to make it look like I've changed. You know what? We're going to make this a positive.
And we always people always fall for it. Mm-hmm. If it was really a concern, you caught yourself saying the word, and before anybody else caught you, either you stop or you start working with minority groups to realize, all right, here's what kind of damage you're doing. Don't do it because you're trying to save your ass, because I'm not going to take that as sincere.
Apparently people are. They're buying it. And part of it is also you got to realize Annie's going to spin this because he was making them a lot of money. And they're going to come out and go, he's done all these good things, and he's come up to us, and we agree that he's done enough work. Now get back on the air. Make us some money.
Yeah, and JD's right. Part of the reason why A&E's willing to do this is because his show was very popular, and including not just in America but other countries, saying it aired in over 20 countries.
Well, and again, A&E can still be taking the high road with this. It had a huge viewership. What better way to reach these people than with somebody who was, admittedly a racist. Now we're going to go out and be able to spread the gospel.
See, I can teach. I can learn, people can change.
That's their spin. That's believable.
Yeah.
The fact that Dog Chapman started going out working with these different groups, that doesn't undo anything.
No, that's a lawyer tactic. He sat down with the lawyer and goes, all right.
That's a spin doctor.
Who do I got to meet with?
Yeah, you just start picking groups. I don't even think Sharpton met with him once.
No, I don't think so.
Sharpton let this one go, man. I'm not sure why.
Because it was a private conversation, wasn't on the air, and you can't go back and dictate what I'm saying to somebody on the phone.
And also at the peak of the Dog Chapman stuff, he was going through the Gina 6 thing in Louisiana. So he was obviously focused on something that was actually more important than what Dog said to
But
his
how do you
kid.
go back and attack somebody's conversation on a phone?
Yeah, you absolutely can't, really. Other than the fact that this is who he really is. I don't care if it's on the phone or not. It's who he really is. Do we really want him on our televisions?
My conversation. I can throw out whatever I want as long as my actions show something else.
I don't think so. Even if it's a private conversation, that's even more damning, because
I would prefer it that way if my actions show that I'm not a racist as opposed to some fit I'm having on the phone.
Yeah, but you go back to the fact that your actions, that's what you publicly show everybody. This is the real guy.
But he's never shown any actions of being a racist before.
Not on TV because he knows the cameras are around.
Well, the cameras are always around him.
And they've never caught him doing anything. But,
exactly.
But this
his actions
private.
are going to speak more than whatever he's going to throw out on the phone. That was going to be the biggest reason Sharpton couldn't go back and attack him. Now, had he had some type of racial slant to his show where they're always going after blacks, I bet you they don't go after one black guy for 18 months when the show comes back.
You're probably right. So we just saw this man rape this woman. I don't see it. I don't care.
Go ahead.
Well, last month, 4 witnesses came forward to say that they saw Puff Daddy punch a man in the jaw at an after-party following last year's Oscars. But in a recently released court declaration, Diddy explains that he didn't punch the man. Instead, the man actually ran into his hand. Puff Daddy said he continued moving toward me and, without warning, lunged at me. Instinctively, I outstretched one of my hands, which hand was not closed-fisted, to shield myself. Any contact between him and myself was caused by his forward motion against my stationary open hand. So last week, Trick Daddy... different story. Last week, Trick Daddy was cleared of 2 misdemeanor charges, disorderly intoxication and resisting arrest, which came after a fight in a strip club last September. More than 24 Dallas...
Hold on. I don't understand line 3, Ryan.
I'm not sure either because I was on the phone, so I think I missed a big point, but she was very adamant about this.
Okay. Yes, Cindy.
Okay, why are people who are in committed relationships but are not married are being penalized?
Because you're not supposed to have sex outside of marriage.
Okay, but sex is a basic natural need to procreate the species.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be married.
But who said this?
God or somebody around it.
Okay, technically the Bible was written by man. Man makes mistakes. So how do you know they didn't put their moral beliefs into the Bible? And God's like,
well, then why pay any? If you think the entire Bible is flawed, why look at it at all?
Okay, what now?
Why bring the Bible up if you think it's flawed anyway?
Well, it's just the way I was raised. I think everything was flawed. I was raised Catholic, and it's like you learn all the stuff behind it, and there's so many hypocritical things with the whole church. And plus, too, there's the whole point of masturbation.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I happen to have a heightened sex drive. I don't want to go out and be a complete slut, so I masturbate a lot so I don't have that urge. I mean, I've already figured I'm going to hell because I love your show, and I probably have a special place there.
And where do you normally take care of your business?
Honestly, at least once or twice a day. I go through a lot of batteries.
You doing this at work?
No. Normally between work and school, and then after I get off work at night.
You going to school or you teaching?
I'm going to school. I'm going to school to be an auto mechanic, and then I work 8 hours at night.
I don't know what that arc welder would feel like. Probably have to ground my nipples. Yeah. No offense. Go ahead, sorry.
All right. We actually found this from iVillage talking about sex. There are 5 common myths about sex. Number 1, men are more promiscuous than women. Actually, that's not true. Men usually overstate the number of conquests they've had, while women lie and claim a much smaller number.
Well, how do you know if they're lying?
If
the women.
Oh.
I'm not telling you of all the conquests I've had. All right, how do you know that she's not telling the truth?
They always just say whatever number they throw out.
How do you know that?
Oh, you know, there's no way to know, ever.
So that doesn't debunk that myth either way. Guys are supposed to be promiscuous. Women really aren't. And because they have low numbers, maybe it's because they aren't promiscuous. Well, how do you come up with it that they're sleeping with all these guys and then they're going, it was only 12?
Well, we know they have a tendency to roll down the number anyway.
How do you know that? That's what you keep throwing that out. How do you know that?
Well, I don't know for sure. You're right. There's no way to absolutely positively know how many things she's had in her.
Okay. And why would you think she had?
She'd had more.
Several.
I just think most women...
That doesn't make any sense. Well, they all lie about it. How do you know?
No. There's no way other than...
Okay, so far that myth's retarded. Shut up. Go ahead.
Number 2, black men have larger units.
I don't care about that one. Mm-hmm. I just like to think that it's a myth.
Number 3, happy couples always have...
Is it a myth?
Yeah, these are all myths.
No, that one's not a myth.
You're confusing the hell out of me. Number 3, happy couples always have great relations.
Read the one about the black guys.
Oh, I thought you didn't want it. This one is actually true.
See?
African-American men have an average length of 6.5 to 8 inches when big, while the average white guy is only packing around 6.
What?
I can be speedy and tote something around that size.
Don't even.
It's just the constant leg workout.
Yeah.
Number 3, happy couples always have great sex. This is a huge overgeneralization. Being a happy person doesn't make you any better in bed. Number 4, if sex isn't always spontaneous, then something's wrong. Sometimes people are so busy that they literally have to schedule in the times that they want to have sex, and there's nothing wrong with that. And number 5, the myths, women don't like porn. Maybe women aren't quite as open about enjoying it as most men are, but it doesn't mean that they don't like watching it.
I don't like to watch porn during sex. I don't like foreplay. I want to screw.
Well, get it done, get it over with. And
I don't like lingerie. That keeps me from screwing.
Understand.
I don't like baby talk. I don't like cat talk. I don't like anything that keeps me from screwing. I like to screw.
I understand you like to screw.
I don't like candles. That means I got to blow those out when we're done screwing.
Yes.
I like to screw.
Some people.
I screw.
I know you do. But
I don't like any of the other, what's the word? Accoutrements?
Yes, accoutrements.
I don't like those.
Well,
I don't like baths. I don't like anything else that keeps me from screwing. I like to screw.
Screwing is wonderful, but there's...
I don't like massages. I don't like baby oil. I don't like talk before or after. I want to screw.
Yeah, but there's an atmosphere you set. It's the difference between just...
I want to have an atmosphere of screw. I screw.
I know you screw, therefore you are. But how about candles, scented oils? It's
I don't
all
like.
about the
I don't like.
It's about the romance.
I don't like any of the foods, the oils, the creams, anything that you lick off of them.
No, I don't really like those either. But
I don't like food in bed. If I did, I'd screw me a nice rotisserie chicken.
Even the chocolate.
Grab it by the legs.
Strawberries, anything like that. That's I got you. The motion. You don't have to try to screw the chicken.
And they come with the legs already pinned up anyway.
Great. All right. The fact you've thought this through is disturbing.
Is it cooked?
Yeah.
Dan,
I'm just checking.
Well, how does that make it better that it's cooked?
As long as it's not referring to my nipples, I'm happy.
And if you do it right, well, you do a little rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
You get it going like that. Then its wings are hanging. No slab.
Looks like the chicken's participating.
Yes.
What an odd day.
They're on sale at the end of the day at Kroger. If you're
I don't want to know.
They mark them down. Because they know what people are going to do.
Oh, wow. More than...
We saw that coming.
We talked about bears with handguns earlier.
Yeah,
that's taboo today.
More than 24 Dallas school teachers will be sacked or reassigned in a shakeup at 7 schools that fell well below par for 2 straight years. State law demands the reorganization for 5 high schools: Kimball, Pinkston, Roosevelt, Seagoville, and Woodrow Wilson, along with Alexander and Teachee Elementaries. The teachers to be disciplined are in the core classes of reading, math, social studies, and science. If they're reassigned, they cannot teach those same subjects, but they might be able to stay in the Dallas district, but only if they're certified in another subject.
What I don't understand is, what if you got enough kids in a classroom, they're going to screw up your average? Kids that don't want to do anything, parents who don't participate, and then as an educator, you got to eat it.
Is it? Maybe, but if it's all the kids in the class, I didn't
say it was all the kids. I said if you have enough to drop their average to where they're not passing.
I don't know how long they track these teachers. Is it one semester? Is it a whole year? If you got 80% of your kids fail?
Well, this came under the 2-year thing. It's like the schools that fell well below par for 2 straight years.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, you probably have a problem with the teacher.
Not necessarily. A lot of people just hand their kids off to the teachers and go, all right, do something with this, and then we'll see you.
But on average, over 2 years, you're not going to get in class after class.
There are some schools that just don't produce. That's why some of them are going through this restructuring. And it's not always the teachers, and to make them eat all of this, is especially when you got a teacher shortage.
That's what's really odd, is that the fact that you already have teachers that ain't getting jack. They had to get a college education. I was so frustrated because my ex-wife was a teacher, and it's like the only place you got to go get a college education, come out and make $25,000 a year when secretaries in this building are making that much.
She knew that when she was in college.
That's the other side of it. You say, that going in, you also get, you get more or less, it's a 6-month year. So you got to add that on, after all the time off in this summer. And
were you going to say something, Trey?
No.
Oh, I saw you nod your head over.
Well, one thing about this is, and this is a proven fact, all the schools really are on a lower economic area, and that fuels bad students.
This is going to be a lower rent part of town.
Yeah.
So as a result, possibly the kids aren't going to perform the way they should. Well, you can't. And then if that's accurate, then you can't really always hold the teachers responsible.
No, because, a lot of times in these areas, you got a parent working 2 jobs. They do just hand their kid off to the school, and if they're not supervised, kids are going to.
Now, these teachers aren't fired. They can go someplace else in the DISD, but not teach the same course.
Right. That they can do that.
But here's the problem with that, is if you don't let them do that, go someplace else in DISD, teach the same course, see if you get different results.
Yeah.
Because if they go to this school and all of a sudden the performance goes up, then it's not necessarily the teachers.
Maybe they don't.
Now, I'm not saying some of them don't care. I'm just not saying don't pop all of them.
Yeah. Well, again, they're giving them the opportunity to be reassigned first. And then I think probably reassign you and you still have the same problem, you may just be a bad teacher.
And I'm curious to know.
Then you're going to have to go teach something that you haven't been teaching because you can't teach the same core subject. What is it, Dan?
I'm just curious to know what that, cutoff line is. Or quit looking at my nipples.
I'm not really sure where they are, I'm guessing. Am I close?
That's over the eyes.
Keep guessing.
They get hot. Chloe, did you get me some ice for Dan's nipples?
Oh, I did during break.
There's no reason.
You going to finish your sentence or not?
I'm sorry, my nipples got my attention. I'm wondering what the cutoff line would be. It's like what percentage of those students over the 2 years, eyes up?
Huh? It's like 2 little pink holes sucking me in.
Yeah. I figured they're right about here. I think you were going to break my finger.
You're lucky I liked you.
Damn. It was really going to break my finger.
It's the way he yanked away and then came at you.
Yeah.
It's no way for a Messiah to act.
Messiah angry.
You're going to get the wrath of his nips.
I'll tell you. Don't point at him.
If we're not supposed to look at him, just tell us.
Don't look at them.
All right. Are your balls sacred?
If it's attached to me, it's sacred.
We need a break?
You should.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Russ Martin Show.
Are you just on this mineral water diet, or are you on something else?
That's all I'm doing right now is just drinking water, as opposed to the orange drink that I've been drinking. Why? Like, yeah, I can tell you.
The TED diet?
Oh, the Dr. Ted diet, yeah. So I'm looking into that one. I haven't done it yet because it's a doctor up in Plano. Basically, it's a 10-week program for $800. Well, this was also on one of the news channels. $895. It's just a mixture of food, vegetables, normal food, but every week you come in, you stand on some kind of a vibrating thing for probably a half hour. He gives you a B12 and a B6 shot.
A vibrating thing that does what?
I don't know. What do you call it? Anaerobic. Instead of aerobic, I think it just shakes the hell out of you. Well, I can tell.
It's like Boss Hog.
Boss Hog what?
Remember he would, in the Dukes of Hazzard?
They had those old shakers. You put a big belt around your ass, and it would shake you for half an hour.
I don't know. This starts from looks like you stand on it with your feet, and then it just shakes your body.
It's the same concept.
Yeah, I know. And then you get the B6 and the B12, and you get
that technology has been around for 50 years.
Well, that's not the key. That's just one of the elements. And then just food, the correct balance of food, vegetables, and all that stuff, and the B6, B12, as well as what's the other thing? There's some kind of cream you put on.
I think you're leaving out a key element here.
No, I'm not.
Because the rest of the stuff doesn't make any sense as far as weight loss. It's the cream.
Well, think about some.
I'm jacking with you. Shut up.
Here it is. This is from the.
I didn't get to the cream.
Look at that. Fourth element is the patented endorphin-releasing cream that is rubbed into the skin. That's the fourth element.
And it does what?
It doesn't say that here. The hormone cream, basically, what it does is suppress your appetite, because if someone's hungry, they're going to fail, according to the doctor. And we said basically you can lose 5 to 7 pounds a week. Guys can. Women 3 to 5 pounds a week.
I thought you were already on this water diet from Mineral Wells.
Well, that's not a diet. That's just water that's good for you. If I'm going to drink all day, I'd rather it be just water versus Cokes or something.
Why don't you just do a normal diet and knock it off with this fad crap?
Water is not a fad diet.
But now you're going to rub cream on you and you're going to go get to... Yeah, why don't you just go to Sherwin-Williams? I'll hook you up for free.
I have no idea what that's supposed to do. That's just, it shakes you up, I guess, and it's some sort of, this is called the TED diet, thermogenic endorphin-releasing diet.
Why is it called the TED diet?
Thermogesic. The E is the endorphin, and it's the releasing diet, so it's TED. And the guys in
Well, just eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and lean meats.
Well, but it's not in what you eat. It's in the combinations that you eat them in. It's specifically designed for you, and you get the
Well, why don't you eat protein, a little bit of carbs, and a little bit of vegetables?
Well, I do, but I'm not losing as much weight as I like.
So you think Ted's going to be the answer?
I believe it's going to be the answer.
Gavin, do you know about this?
I've heard briefly about it. He was talking about it when I was talking to him about it yesterday. I totally agree with you. Just eat normal, work out.
JD likes the ones that come along with some kind of magic trick.
I know, but
Atkins peeing on strips. The Ally stuff, but you don't stay on anything long term. You don't know the Ally stuff. You were on for about a month, and it was working. It just makes you runny. I just didn't like it. So you're going to go to this place in Plano, have them shake you around for a couple of
That's
months.
just a very small part of it. It's once a week deal. Yeah. Oh, let's go. At least go talk to the guy.
Danny, isn't that the same thing as those hip shakers they used to make?
Yeah, it's going to be the same principle. I'm looking at the story here. It says about this TED diet. It says exercise is not a must, but patients do use a vibration exerciser during their weekly visits. Caruth, didn't see who that was, but someone named Caruth, describes the vibration exerciser as an anaerobic exercise that helps increase circulation.
Why don't you run for a half hour?
Well, it's not good regular exercise, too. I don't think the vibration thing is the key. I think it's the B12, B6, the endorphin-releasing cream, as well as the combination of the foods.
You could get all that from Venegas if we were still talking to him.
We're not talking to Venegas.
You stopped talking to him?
No, he's still my friend.
So you still get it? What?
Unless he's fallen out of favor with everybody.
You do whatever you want.
No,
I even told him, I still want you to be my friend. I just don't want you in the band. You're too pissy. I can't deal with you every Saturday.
And you warned him ahead of time. This is something that's been ramping up for a while.
I remember going back, and this is it was last May, but you nearly told me, you said you nearly knocked the crap out of him, and I remember you sent an email saying, you ever pull that crap again in your house?
Well, that's the time he was mad at you in your house. And he wouldn't talk to you.
That's right. I forgot about that one. And
I don't want to talk about it right now.
I did. I actually had to stop and leave the room because I could visualize taking him, throwing him outside, and then making sure I hit him with his amp.
You're that angry? I realize he gets in these moods. He's very chicky that way.
But you're going to come to my house because you're pissed off at me about something, be in my house, eat food that I've set out, and continue to be in that pissy mood. And I really have no reservations because he's one of the few people I can knock out.
Probably.
And I don't believe anybody would have seen it.
It's just in your house, and you went to the trouble. The thing I see on your side is you went to the trouble to stop him and go, we got a problem, let's talk about it, which is above and beyond what you really have to do.
Yeah, if you're going to come, every place we go, whether it's at the house or up here, he's pissy about something. He does. Trey's right about this. One of the few things that I'll acquiesce to. Because he's a doctor, he doesn't like to have people tell him how to do anything.
That I can see.
Now, as far as medical advice, anything with internal medicine, valid point. But to argue with Chuck, who has a degree in music, to tell him what his bass line should be when you ain't been playing 8 months, that's a little far-fetched.
I agree. And I kept telling, anytime I talk about the band with him, and he's starting ramping up, I would say, just quit. Oh, I love the band. You don't look like it. You look like you're having fun.
No, this Saturday, it looked like he was, the entire time we practiced in the lobby up here, the way he stood in the corner and played, it looked like he was serving community service.
He does that at your house. I've never seen him look like he has fun, except on stage sometimes.
You get any emails about a new bass player?
Yes, I've gotten them, called them off. I'm getting a ton of them. I've been playing for 32 years. I've been playing for 18 years, professional, semi-professional. I'll come up. No, you won't. Leave me alone. Yes, we're getting a ton of them.
Send you any samples?
Yeah, we want to hear samples.
I don't have any samples. I don't need any samples to fill up my mailbox. Thank you very much. I know what a bass sounds like.
I don't. I need to know if they can play or not.
You know what a bass sounds like? Get them in here. Let Chuck listen to them. If they can play, they can play. I'm deleting them.
But it'll speed up the process if you just put the samples on one CD. Chuck can hear them.
Yeah.
I hate you.
We only got 3 weeks. We got to get a bass player. I got to call this thing off.
How about Ryan? He can play the bass.
I already heard Ryan try and play the, what was that?
The saxophone?
Yeah.
No?
He hadn't really mastered that one yet.
Well, maybe the bass is different. Maybe the bass
How long have you been playing bass?
Probably a couple of years.
See, that's longer.
What kind of what, Chuck? Bass amp?
Yeah.
What kind of bass amp you got?
It's a PV.
Oh, you lied.
And?
He told me he didn't know.
Why does that matter?
It's the same as asking you what kind of cars you got.
What does that matter about a bass player?
It matters a lot.
To me?
No,
Well, why'd you have me ask him?
because he didn't know.
Well, who cares if he knows what he's plugging into?
It's important for the bass players to know their
Why?
It's important for them to know their equipment. Any musician.
Why is everybody on the floor?
Because you're about to kill somebody.
I just want to know why it's important to know what amp is. The only reason I know what amp I got is it's on the front of it.
I think their point is if you don't
let me talk to a musician.
Do that.
Why is it important?
Because if they don't know what kind of amp they have or equipment they have, what makes you think that they have any sort of knowledge about the bass?
I don't know what I got. I know what I got only because it's got a big name on the front of it. It says Marshall. I didn't pick it for any reason. I just got it.
Well, because people picked it for you.
Okay.
But if you're a musician, you really should know your way around your equipment, especially the name of it.
What do you need to know your way around it? I can drive a car. I don't know how to fix one.
Well, you need to know how to operate it.
I can do that. I don't have to know where all the different parts came from. People are fools. Taking something that's simplistic and just a bunch of freaking noise and you turned it into some type of art.
Is it because of sound quality a bass player should know?
It's a bass. Stumpy. It's low. Plug him into a subwoofer. What do you want a washing machine that's off balance? I don't care anymore. Do you really have a PV amp?
I really don't know what kind of amp it is.
All right, you're out.
Thank you.
Because I've heard you really need to know. care if he plugs the guitar straight into the outlet.
I understand. It just goes boom, boom, boom.
So you'll pick us out a bass player?
No, I don't. How would I know anything? You just said have them go to Chloe, have them go to Chuck. They're the musicians.
Yeah, but we got to have a clearinghouse, and that's going to be you.
I don't want to be the bass clearinghouse. I've already gotten emails. Please stop them, please.
And they've been playing for how long?
One of them 37 years, the other one 18 years, partially professional.
You only have two?
Just those two so far.
Oh. Well, what are you complaining about? You got two. You make it sound like you just had a plethora.
These people come home, what they're doing, they're sitting in their cars thinking about this. They're going to get home, and that's where then they're going to get drunk, and they're going to start sending me emails.
One of them's 18 years?
18 years. Professional and semi-professional.
And the other one's how long?
37.
I want something in between.
Yeah.
Or under that.
J.D. Ryan 105.3.
Shut up!
We want to make sure they know what it's
bass. We've discussed this. You don't even need a bass player.
Oh, no. We could go through the white trash party. Never plug anything in low end. Nobody would notice. Nobody would leave there. I want my $10 back. Or at least a portion of it.
There's no bass. This is ridiculous. Dan can play bass. You get a bass?
Dan's got too many songs he'd have to relearn.
Okay.
Plus, you still going to do the 500 miles?
Yeah, if you want me to.
Okay. And you'll do that in a nippleless shirt?
No. There's really no need for that.
Would you mind if we started calling you the Pink Dragon?
Yeah, I think I would.
Arch-Teat O'Malley?
Although creative.
I like the Pink Dragon, yes. Wear little pink hoods.
Stop.
Well, you feeling threatened?
No.
Let's see how JD reacts to this. Praise you, Pink Dragon.
All right. That really kind of did piss me off.
Go ahead. It's just funny to watch Dan's face. You always been a homophobe?
No, just in here.
Oh. Nobody's after really hit on you off the air.
Yeah, but this is how it starts. For the first time ever.
The dimples on each side of your ass? Little firm thing?
I don't know. I'm not answering. No, I'm not saying anything.
You know, how's your temple of poo? Is it pretty firm?
What time is it?
Wait, make us something to pray to.
Yeah.
Cop of God. Make a bunch. We'll put it on the dashes of our car.
It's good luck.
We'll need a separate air freshener.
Yeah.
How are we doing, Cleve?
4 minutes.
Are you ill?
A little bit.
You may want to sit down.
My gods are pretty righteous.
Make us a little puda.
Rub it.
God.
Read some news.
I've been trying. For the first time ever, documents concerning the Kennedy assassination
this was a rip.
are being made available to the public. The documents have been buried in a safe that's been in the 10th floor office of the Dallas County District Attorney. Boxes and boxes of records. Dallas County District Attorney Craig Watkins says every administration since Henry Wade has known about the papers, but his is the first one to make it public. There is one intriguing paper that has the world buzzing a purported conversation between Lee Harvey Oswald and his assassin Jack Ruby about a month before the assassination in Dealey Plaza. Watkins knows it will fuel conspiracy theories and says he is not sure if it will change conclusions already made by people, but will cause more of a debate. The curator of the 6th Floor Museum thinks this is a recollection of a conversation that an attorney reported to the FBI back in the 60s. The attorney said he overheard the conversation. Gary Mack says it was outright dismissed. Mack says the attorney who brought the information forward was given a lie detector test by Dallas police in March of 1964, and the only two questions the attorney answered truthfully were you drunk at the time, and are you an alcoholic? Mack says the answer to both was yes.
Originally, when this came out, it sounded like it was going to be a big find.
Right.
And then you did with conversations with Ruby and Oswald, and then all of a sudden you got timeline problems. Oswald was into Tetris and a couple other things that didn't really fit. then obviously these things aren't real.
No, none of this was. It turned out to be a movie. What they think was a movie script.
I would take Tetris out of it then.
Yes.
And the Jason Kidd era is over in New Jersey. Team officials confirmed he is heading here to Dallas. The trade sends Jason Kidd, forward Malik Allen, and guard.
I think he's already here. I saw on the news he was holding up his jersey with Cuban.
Yeah, they had the press conference around 3.
All right, in a simplistic fashion, how did they get past the roadblock that they had last week?
They took the roadblock out of the equation.
Okay, and that was it?
That was Devin George.
Okay, and he didn't want to go just because.
He had a right in his clause, or he had a clause in his contract that he could exercise his right not to be traded, and he did so.
Okay. Now, who did we get rid of instead?
We signed, I think, semi-retired Keith Van Horn.
That's the way I understood it. Took somebody who wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Asked him if he felt like he could still play.
Gave him $4 million to do so.
And then traded him away.
Yes.
Now, will he actually play up there?
I'm not sure, but it is possible. It is possible he may think, yeah, we'll give it another whirl.
All right, gave him $4 million, and then Cuban gave them another $3.
I think the cash was still in there, yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So the other players were...
How old is Jason Robards? Or kid, whoever we're getting?
34. He's almost 35.
Is that old for basketball?
For the way he plays and as long, yeah. I mean, I don't think he has too many more great years left.
But he's got enough to possibly take us to the championship.
This is one of those things, now this is my opinion, but I think they're robbing the future to try to win a championship this year.
Okay. Is that what you get out of this, Gavin?
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing is that when his contract runs out next year...
Jason Kidd.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. They will have a very large amount of cap space to sign another big player.
I don't know what that means.
It's a
You're going to have some extra cash?
A lot of extra cash. I think he'll be making about $20 million.
Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
All right, so you take the cash that we're going to have next year, and you buy some younger players?
That would
potentially,
be correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that could be part of their game plan.
It's an odd trade. It really is.
He wants to win now.
Well, I'd be the same way. You got close, last year?
Last year got knocked out the first round.
Okay.
Went to the finals the year before.
They still went to the playoffs, though, last year. All right. After a while, you'd like to show something for all the cash that you're pumping into the team.
Yeah, but at a certain point, how much are you giving away? Because now we're giving away 2 first-round picks. That's your young talent. So
I don't mind giving it all away if you get close and you get close. Let's say he doesn't make this move. He actually wins one. Or you don't make this move and you get close for the next 10 years.
Well, the problem is even if
sooner or later you want to bust your basketball nut.
Well, that's true.
And it's a gamble either way, because doing either way doesn't guarantee the championship.
Well, obviously they put more thought into this than me because I don't care.
Very true.
Do we need a break? All right.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Enter at your own risk. The Russ Martin Show. Now, back to the Russ Martin Show.
What?
Is there a new Boston Legal tonight?
I don't know. I stopped watching just because of the strike. And it doesn't look like ABC's going to pick them up for next season.
I can't believe that.
I don't understand why it stays buried in the 20s, 30s, as far as ratings go. Because JD said this before. Very few shows are going to keep my interest.
So
it's not like it's writing that is over anybody's head. If I get it, and it's not dumbed down, and it carries, a lot of valid points about society, what's injustices that are really going on, so you get something out of it at the end.
But I would also think in this day and age, with cable and all the networks, everything else, networks would somewhat be happy with a show top 30.
I don't It was that show, and I forget what the other one. ABC didn't look like they were going to pick up.
Men in Trees.
What is it?
Men in Trees.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe the Boston Legal is just expensive to produce. So if you're in the top 30, you got to be in the top 10 if we're going to give you guys this much money to produce it.
Yeah, with the cast they have, it's got to be pricey.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Anything else before we go?
Yes, actually, in the audio disc, cut number 25. Remember last week the sheriff's officer, and I can't remember the state. Florida. Dumped the wheelchair guy out of his wheelchair to frisk him.
Yeah.
She now has a lawyer. This is the lawyer, Norman Cannella.
How's he going to spin this?
Interesting term.
I see a man defiant against society, defiant against law enforcement, defiant against mobility.
I'll just let cut 25 run. This is.
We're watching this tape. We know that his vehicle had hand pedals. He was sitting in a wheelchair. He told her he couldn't stand up. Why didn't she believe him?
Well, I'm unsure of the facts, ma'am. I was only retained last Friday. The video that I'm watching this moment is the first time that I have seen it. The video is without words. I don't know who said what.
This is the first time you've seen the video. I'm curious to know your impression.
Everybody in the whole country has seen this video, but her lawyer.
Yeah, you told me you got retained and you didn't go to the internet and at least
you're on television talking about it, but you haven't even checked the video out yet. Bull.
And there's no audio.
You can't tell what was being said, except
I have no clue what he said to her. Possibly he said something like to flip me out. Flip me out of my chair. I'd like to lay on the ground.
I love it when I flip.
I'm sick of this chair. Flip me out.
That's going to be his only spin. You don't know what started this. Yeah, you do. And everybody else stood around and watched it happen.
Oh, this is one of the few times I don't believe audio is going to. It'd be fun to listen to.
Yes.
Without words, I don't know who said what.
This is the first time you've seen the video. I'm curious to know your impressions. Does it horrify you?
No, it does not.
It does not. What do you feel when you see it? Or what do you think when you see it?
I think exactly what.
This guy wearing a bolo tie.
I didn't see the video. I just got the audio of it.
Surrounded by chickens.
No, he's not Colonel Sanders.
What it depicts.
Which is, in your opinion?
Someone falling out of a wheelchair.
It's only Tuesday. That's a line of the week.
This guy's good.
Curious to know your impressions. Does it horrify you?
No, it does not.
It does not. What do you feel when you see it? Or what do you think when you see it?
I think exactly what it depicts.
Which is, in your opinion?
Someone fall.
Now, if you'll notice, he doesn't say somebody being pushed or thrown out of a wheelchair. Somebody fell out of a wheelchair.
Simply fell.
We don't know that this man's paralyzed. Possibly he did it on his own. And again, because we don't have the audio, you don't know what he's saying to that nice woman.
You can't tell.
Throw me out of my chair.
Please. Like a chicken.
You see it.
I think exactly what it depicts.
Which is, in your opinion?
Someone falling out of a wheelchair.
Falling out?
That's what I said.
We see her lifting him, and then he falls out, though.
Well,
I mean, that's clear when we're looking.
Well, that's what happens when you're paralyzed.
You see what you see, I see what I see.
And we don't know for certain at this point that he was paralyzed.
Well, the fact
at this point, it still could be an act.
His car being set up for a paraplegic, that's an act.
Why was he arrested?
It was his outstanding traffic warrant.
A fugitive. A man on the lam running. We finally caught him.
It's a traffic violation.
So you throw him out of a wheelchair.
No, you don't treat people that way.
That's what I said.
We see her lifting him, and then he falls out, though.
Well, obviously, I haven't heard this clip. Obviously, you saw something that I didn't. Does he say anything close to that?
Pretty close.
That's what I said.
I believe different people will see this and interpret it in different forms and fashions.
Her lawyer hasn't even seen the clip.
We see her lifting.
Well, if you say you haven't seen it, then you don't have to answer any questions.
Sure, yeah.
Him, and then he falls out, though.
Well,
I mean, that's clear when we're looking at it right here. She pushes the wheelchair forward, and that's when he falls out. He didn't fall out on his own.
Why don't he have
I didn't suggest that he fell out on his own.
Yes, you did. I see a man falling. I see gravity taking effect.
There was nothing else there?
There was no. He had never seen the video.
That's why he claims he didn't see it.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to answer any
The only
questions.
person in the country that hasn't seen it's the lawyer. I see a man falling. That's all I see.
I have no audio. I have no clue what request he was making to that woman. And again, you have a man that's a criminal, a fugitive on a Lambo. I'd like to fly. Maybe he said, toss me, big black woman. Maybe this is the one time I'll get it right.
I just know if I was him, I don't think I'd be on television. I think I'd wave off the TV interviews.
I've decided to try and walk again. Throw me, hefty lady. Well, I guess I'm back to being a slug fowler. All right. Anything else? Ready to go?
That's it.
Okay. You ready, Chuck?
Got it.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on, Chuck.
I got somebody that wants to be the bass player. Right?
Who is it?
Mr. Ryan. I've been playing guitar.
Hey, has anybody checked Craigslist to see if there are a pair of white pants that are for sale?
Oh, God. You know he'd burn those.
Carlos?
Yeah.
He took that.
No, I bet he's got them up on Craigslist along with his bass and his amp. All right, what about it?
Mr. Ryan, I've been playing guitar for about 10 years. In this time, I've played the bass for a couple of years. I would love nothing more than to help Mr. Martin out at his white trash party this year and play the bass for him. You might even know me. We have met. Thank you for your time. Ryan.
King of the PV amps. All right, Chuck, let's try it again.
And the booger people.
What?
Every time I look at him the rest of the day from when you were giving him a hard time about picking his nose instead of calling Gail for traffic, I just can't see him without his finger up his nose.
Yeah, it's nonstop. It's good. I'd give cash for one more hand. Go after this county of boogers that have taken residence inside my head. Go ahead, man.
All right, for more information about the Russ Martin Show, including pictures, videos, and more, go to russmartin.com. To answer any question you may have about the show, go to russmartin.info. To instant email the show and no leak during the show, send that to studio@russmartin.com. Other show websites, johndavidryan.com, danandtassos.com, djclo.com, treytrenholm.com, and for Chuck on the keyboards, chuckweek.com. The official caterer of the show is Sugar Babies Barbecue. Their website, sugarbabiesbbq.com. Limo service is provided by Limo George. His website, LimoGeorge.com. Russ gets his guitars and band equipment from the Guitar Center. Their website, guitarcenter.com. The official liquor store of the Russ Martin Show is Majestic Fine Wine and Spirits. Their website, majesticliquors.com. And the official site for Live 105.3 is live1053.com.
I believe I'd like to take a few moments to share my thoughts on the socio-economic environment of the Mideast.
Why?
Because you want to leave early.
Trey, you little weasel.
I'd like to also talk about electromagnetic fields and astral projection.
I see.
What time you got to be there?
It starts at 8. We get there when we get there.
Where's he playing?
American Airlines.
Oh. Are you going straight down there from here?
Yeah, Joyce is picking me up. My truck's in the shop.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. Probably what's the thing you didn't have, Chuck?
Torque converter?
Yeah, one of those. It made some grinding noise. I thought it hit somebody because it made this grinding, dragging sound. It did.
I don't think I would have equated those two, but I believe I'd like to leave. Are you done, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
You can now listen to The Russ Martin Show anytime you want on the web at russmartin.info.
Well, I know that noise.
Shut up, man. That's not what I meant.
Certainly could be anything wrong with the truck. I don't hear anything.
Stop it.
Hello?
The Russ Martin Show. Rocks the Metroplex.